Let's do a cheers to the Sobeys and Safer Liquid Beer Release podcast.
We ride again.
I love you guys.
Careful, that cake's hot.
Check-in, come on, let's go. It's the AM Nasty Big Hello. It's that static AM radio. It's the Coolbet Red Hot Nielson Show. Let's go. Everybody tuning in, even my wife.
Mommy likes too.
And those Macromala intros are cutting like a knife. Hey, it's Mitch texting in, he's your dealer for life. Let's crack at 6 o'clock and log in with some sirloin bites.
.603, you're tuned into the Nielson Show, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, streaming on the iHeart and TuneIn radio apps, and live, crystal clear for your viewing pleasure on YouTube. Edmonton Sports Talk. Our pursuit of the 10.5K subscribers continues. If you haven't already, please hit the sub and give us a thumbs up this morning. It goes a long way in the algorithm. Lieutenant Eric, in for Dustin. I guess we're all in for Dustin Nielson. It's a combined. We should almost do the show hand in hand here.
We are all Dustin Nielson.
Hands across the studio. Lieutenant Eric, Wil Fraser back again. Great to see you, man. And
nice to see you too.
Mr. Lean. You had a little dose of Mr. Lean yesterday.
Matthew Wannick never went home. Stayed here the whole night.
Oh, he's a busy guy. Lots of things to do around here, right? So have your say this morning. The Paris Jewelers inbox, 780-218-9999. Family-owned and operated, 22 stores, 4 provinces across Canada. Large, high-quality selection. Engagement rings, including lab-created at great prices. www.parisjewelers.com. That's the place where you can text. If you aren't watching on YouTube in the Nasty Chat, which is already humming as well, Jimbo says, pray for Dustin with the conjoined prayer emoji hands. RCN says, free Dusty from my 1X freezer. That's, and we're kind of going a little, I walked into that one. It was a long hashtag. I said, free, and then I started down, and I didn't mean to kind of get into all that. But Jen Cool, morning. Hey, tell me more about this D-Gen parlay from last night. I heard it was all the rave last night at Centric Casino Sports Bar and Lounge, to which we were enjoying the Monday nighter, the overtime Chiefs win. They remained perfect on the season. A bit of a scare on Mahomes' leg. His knee kind of bobbled a bit. He was running and it kind of
I've had that.
It moved.
I've had that.
Where's the kneecap? And he kind of got to relocate the damn thing. Chiefs once again remaining undefeated on the season, overtime over the Bucks, and of course the Edmonton Oilers back in action as well, back home with a thud.
Yeah,
that's okay though. Hey,
Matthew and I described it
up and down
yesterday. Scheduled loss, and it very much looked like that. I mean,
another second half of back to back.
People hate this. They got goalied. But they really did. Jake Allen played really, really well last night.
And he has in the past against this team. I don't think he has been having a good season overall to this point.
Actually, no, that was his second shutout of the year. So.
Second shutout of the year, okay.
Yeah, no, Oilers threw everything they could at him. They did not generate enough penalties for themselves. They only had the one power play, and then they got scored on the one power play that they gave up. So, yeah.
Devils are a good team. You make a few mistakes in a close game. That's what happens. Atif, I'll dive into the Paris Jewelers inbox once again. 780-218-9999. Atif, he'll be off for his sledge hockey trip to Dallas, Texas. I think they leave Wednesday, 6 a.m. in the morning. They'll be gone for 10 days. So good luck there, Atif. He says, good evening. The Oilers ran into a hot goalie in Jake Allen. He played very well. When a goalie is on his game, it takes a fluke goal to go in. And then he gives us a bit of a credit there, too. To your point there, it's just one of those nights. And again, the second half of a back-to-back, you get the win down in Calgary, you beat Bravo, you come home, you drop into a good team.
Well-rested team that's up and ready to play against you. And maybe Connor McDavid should have played. Am I right?
Well, and we'll get to that.
What a sicko.
Look, his body, his you know how the saying goes.
He's a sicko is what he is.
Just let the professionals. That's what they do.
Yeah.
They devote their lives to studying this type of stuff.
Yeah.
I know you want to get out there, and I know the competitive drive. But damn it, anyways.
I don't think we do. I don't think we do.
We
understand.
assume we do.
Yeah.
We listen to it. You're right.
I don't think we understand.
We will never
drive.
understand.
He's a maniac.
It's borderline, exactly.
And if you're wondering what we're talking about, Connor McDavid having a relatively fruitful skate before the game, and then basically coming to the media going, "Yeah, I feel fine."
And that's great. But people were even flirting with the idea of Vegas. It seems like Vancouver, like, oh, you'll probably be back on the weekend.
Yeah.
What? Excuse me? I'm sorry.
I did say at the time when they were like, it'll be 2 to 3 weeks. I did say at the time, 10 days. It'll be 10
Well, I think
days.
you had 1 to 2.
Yeah.
With your
exactly.
numerology and
that's right. Yeah.
So we'll wait on that. I mean, light a candle, whatever you've been doing for McDavid's health, continue it because it seems to be working right now. As he's been skating in optional skates, and
he's a sicko.
From the tracksuit to the equipment,
and I mean that in all the best ways possible.
Oh yeah,
you can call someone a sicko.
Yeah,
but like nobody's body should heal that quickly. No one should be that nope. He decided to will his leg into healing.
27 years young, is what they say, right?
Yeah.
You know, you're still kind of. He's cyborg. It's the cyborg thing. Everybody's always had a theory. There's been theories out there that he's a cyborg.
There are things that separate truly great from really, really good. Mm-hmm. And I mean, this is one of the things that makes Connor McDavid, and everyone else just really good hockey players.
But it's that one area of your body where traditionally, especially for this sport, that
you're supposed to be.
You could nag it, and it could be a thing that continues. So again.
Exactly.
Whatever,
we are so used to elite athlete. Like walking around with one arm on, like doing whatever. But as soon as the lower body gets tweaked, they shut her down, right?
A lot of stuff going on down there.
Whereas Connor McDavid, whose game is so built upon his speed and agility, I think the Draisaitl was the same when he played with a high ankle sprain as well.
Exactly.
Where you're just kind of like, this isn't the way it's supposed to work. Like they're doing the opposite.
I want you at 100%.
Yeah.
Limping around out there. The Oilers now 6-6-1 through 13 played. Minus 10 goal differential, 2-4-1 at home, 4-2 on the road, and 6-3-1 in their last 10. So we'll wait on McDavid. We'll discuss that. Your thoughts on last night's game? Obviously, we'll take a deeper dive here in a matter of minutes in your morning after show. I'll let you know what we thought, give you some numbers and such like that.
Not a great night for Calvin Pickard.
Not a great night, but again, I don't think you can.
The first 2 goals were screens. The first 2 goals were. You would like your goaltender to make a save, but you're not sitting there going, why didn't he?
No run support, though, either. It looks bad on a night like that, where, again, the shot volume's low, but in a sense, you're like, well, they help him out. A couple of goals go either. Like, I don't know. I think Henrique had a few mid-pod goals and had a miss. Like, it's. No. You play this game, what do they say? 10 times over again.
It once again felt really predicted. Right? As you're watching the game go on and you went into it going, this feels like a scheduled loss. And then as you're watching it, you're like, this is what a scheduled loss looks like.
Loomis says, I bet it's Badger milk in relation to, I'm sure, whatever is healing McDavid right now.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a good text
Honey
game to
Badger
play.
milk,
Yeah. What is it? What is the magical elixir? Is it an amulet? One of those amulets that John Tavares is hawking? Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
Maybe he's wearing an amulet around his, an anklet.
Yes.
An anklet. Amulet.
I see.
Something like that.
Lanklet.
That's what I was going for.
That's there.
But get your healing stones and potions in 780-218-9999. It might be how you win text of the day to A&W. What's better than one Mama burger made with a perfectly seasoned grass-fed beef patty topped with pickles, slice of onion, ketchup, mustard, and teen sauce, served on a toasted sesame seed bun? 2 Mama Burgers for only $9.99. So $20 to A&W on the line for text of the day today. McDavid Healing Powers. Whether it's maybe a paste, maybe they apply a paste, like a mustard plaster on the whole ankle or something like that. Speaking of which, whatever it is, we'd like to send a bit to Dustin Nielson. Yeah. Like he's got to go through some. Maybe he can buy one of those Tavares amulets. Next time he's on CFL and TSN.
They've found some swamp mud.
It's the damn Wi-Fi. All along, right?
That's right.
It's always been.
It's the 5G.
It's. They've erected a tower in his backyard. We are coming to you this morning, The Nielson Show. Lieutenant Eric, Wil Fraser, and Mr. Lean, Matthew Iwanek from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen studio. Boneless wings, bone-in wings. I stopped into a Popeyes, albeit in Lloyd, on my way back, as per tradition, which I do.
It's pronounced Lloyd, just for a correction.
You still like my Pop Yes. Pope Yes. Pope No, in the Reformation joke, right? Exactly. Boy, I was pulling you there. But they have a good snack menu as well, a sneaky snack menu. If you're not, because the wife wasn't with me for this trip, so I was living lean. Like no need to order like a meal. I was kind of like, I'll get a snack here and a hot rod here.
I will have 3 fries, please, and half a nugget.
Side of mac and cheese, side of mashed potatoes, and a snacker chicken sandwich. Just perfect.
It's a lot of carbs.
But I'm a growing man.
It's true. Yeah, you needed the energy.
All right, look at me.
Yeah.
Skin and bone. But bone in, bone out wings, all the flavors, hot, honey garlic, honey barbecue, garlic parmesan, as well as the classic flavor. Go check out Popeyes today. Didn't get a call from the Bear Boys, but we are kind of going over the morning announcements for Edmonton's best rock, 100.3 The Bear. Once again, NFL last night, too. The Chiefs winning in overtime, remaining perfect, as mentioned, 30-24 over the Bucs. It just needed that opening overtime drive. They went down, scored a touchdown. It was curtains after that. But Patrick Mahomes, 3 touchdowns on the night. Baker Mayfield, a sturdy performance as well, 200 yards through the air and a pair of touchdowns. He's a gamer, that Baker, hey?
Yeah, man.
And, I don't hate the Bucs. Nobody hates the Bucs.
Yeah.
You kind of root for him in a sense, but I thought maybe last night there were shades of them. Maybe this is the night that the Chiefs lose one, but they squeak one out again, 30-24. A bit of an injury scare for Patrick Mahomes. If you saw the play, he was kind of running and jammed his knee. That replay, it looks disgusting when the leg kind of wobbles a bit. The elasticity of the
4K
joint.
HD slow motion is almost too enlightening.
You should sign a waiver form before you. I don't know, something like that. But that's the NFL story there. NFL action will pick up again Thursday with a dandy. Bengals visiting the Ravens Thursday, and you're going to join me back at Cinder Casino Sports Bar and Lounge. Matty, your Baltimore Ravens. Any thoughts on that one coming up here with the Bengals traveling to Baltimore?
Schedule loss. Schedule loss.
You're getting ahead of it. I love it. Okay. And after you're demolishing the Broncos 41-10, that's kind of you're up, and then you kind of even Steven, like the Oilers, right?
That's right.
Yeah, we had that saying last week. Even Steven. I think Knobloch alluded to that post game last night.
Yeah,
as well.
he took a $20 bill, threw it out the window, and then found one in his coat pocket.
You're even Steven. Also, be careful out there. The commute this morning, a little dicey as well. A little bit of that rain. Changing to snow, I hear
it's
later
right
today.
at 0 degrees, so
perfect
it's
spot.
It's going to be goose poop out there.
My, urban drive, it was, 2 above. It was just wet. You are coming from out of town, so it's a little different.
Yeah.
So, if you're out in the out on the post ring, I guess, of the hen day today, just take a little time on those roads and be a little careful. But warming up nice in the afternoon, 3 degrees for a high under a mix of sun and cloud today. Full slate in the NBA last night as well as action breaks this evening for some reason. I just don't know why. Maybe just taking a day off. It's Tuesday. You know how you do. That's what the NBA likes to do. Raptors falling to the Nuggets yet again. It feels like you were on a show just recently where the Nuggets beat the Raptors. Yeah. This time in Mile High Denver, 121-119. A little bit of a closer affair than last time. But lots of action going on last night in the NBA. We're probably not going to go through every single game and every score, but there's your Raps update for you.
30 teams in action last night.
Look, again, we have got captain skating and the Oilers. One other game as well to tell you about in the NHL was the Kings, another 3-0 shutout as they win in Smashville, 3-0 over the Predators, outshooting the Preds 27-16. Darcy Kemper, 16 saves there. For the shutout, Kempe with a goal as well and an assist. Nashville have lost 3 of 4. They still can't continue to dig themselves out of whatever, newbie hole that they found themselves in.
No, they're going to get their head coach fired.
And
and it's too bad because from all reports, they absolutely love the guy. But if you're either that or the GM's going to get fired by the owner because you threw around a lot of his money.
What did you do here?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I tried something new. It's much like you, as you said. I want you to be playing around with the board. You're quite right. Sometimes when you're going into those parts unknown, it could end up
why would I do that?
blowing up in your face.
Everything's going fine right now.
Yeah.
Don't push me into new areas.
Jimbo texts in, and I love the texting in of pictures. We can't really translate them too well on air, but I'll do my best. The secret to 97's healing. It's got Millhouse's mom say, "I'm sorry, I can't hear you. I'm wearing a jacuzzi suit." She's got the... Yeah. Maybe it is the jacuzzi suit. They got those air casts, right? Same thing. Yeah.
Hyperbaric chamber.
The hyperbaric chamber, yeah. Rob from the Grove, great seeing you out there last night, man. And I just want to go over my romper room mirror of Jay and Jocelyn, VR Montenegro, Fergie's Prostate, and Rob from the Grove, all making their way out. We had... well, for lack of a better term, perv row all filled out. They have that. Well, no, but it's that row.
You really can't come up with a better term.
Well, what are we gonna do? Watchers row, viewers row. It's just what you're talking.
I like to watch.
Well, hey, sometimes it gets pretty interesting down there. So yeah, we perv out for the sports. But we had the full thing lined up. It was a beautiful sight. So thanks for coming out last night, Rob. But he gets in. I figured out what heals Connor McDavid. His wife has a vial of ketchup hanging around her neck, which he is scared of, so he heals faster than most men. Maybe it is using your fears in something like that, at a vial of ketchup. You subscribe to that theory at all?
Sure, why not?
Lower down the list? Yeah, we do have
it's
a week.
the vinegar that really works.
Vinegar strokes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Blair in Calgary, morning boys. McDavid has Peter Popoff on speed dial just for these occasions.
Right.
He doesn't have to even tell him what ails him, as Popoff already knows and heals him instantly. Blair in Calgary. I don't mind that one. Yeah. Yes, Connor.
Hi, Peter. This is Connor McDavid. Yeah, that's right. You have a problem with your leg. It's already taken care of, Connor.
Bones with a one-word text, ivermectin.
Yes.
That has healing agents and properties, correct? You know this.
Yeah. I am riddled with worms.
Get the worm out of that ankle.
Yeah, exactly.
Vera Montenegro says Lurker's Ledge. You know what? I have time for that.
Lurkers, yeah.
Maybe we get a little sign, a placard made up, and we can put it on there. That'll go over well. They'll love that. It's not like it's a casino, for crying out loud. It's
pervert's porch. Yeah.
Nobody
Lurker's
cares,
ledge.
right? Yeah, it's all good. Yeah. The peeping pad, Lurker's Ledge, Voyeur's Row, Box Pounder. I don't mind. I like incorporating voyeur whenever I can. He's got that French thing to it. And Prime last night. I mean, look, Tube Socks already sent in a what would you call this?
Breakdown.
Oh yeah.
An evaluation.
Would you like to read it?
No, you go ahead.
Okay.
Because I was yesterday, you weren't here. I was the one that was like, I'm actually really looking forward to it because I like Prime's broadcast. They seem to put effort into it, which can't always be said of what we've had over the last little while.
Well, it's different. And you and I were talking prior to the show about people's viewing and listening habits and how everybody likes uniform. Yeah. Uniformity and what they know and what. So this was different. Tube Socks, and we appreciate your text, 556. My thoughts on the Prime broadcast. Number 1, play-by-play color was top-notch. Number 2, the pop-up scorebug stats were timely and informative. Number 3, the host crew was first-rate. And then in brackets, Andy has always been a winner, and Blake was excellent. Number 4, the side story vignettes features were superbly done. I saw Kevin Lowe on there. He was talking. Yep. And with the fans in the background, it just adds to the party atmosphere.
The fan zone.
We'll get to this. Yeah. His 5th point, a first period intermission devoid of the usual Oilers Community Foundation self-congratulatory infomercial was a refreshing change. Nothing but game analysis. Crazy concept, he says. And that's going nothing against the work that the foundation does, but I understand what he's talking about.
I see where
there.
he's going.
Number 6, Miss Jack and Jean. And he stops it there. Summary, he says, overall an excellent broadcast. Makes me wonder why we've grown to accept the subpar hockey broadcasts that we've become accustomed to over the years. More Prime games, please.
Yeah. And I think
I don't know how many points do you...
Another 3 times? Is that right? Maddie, you know this, right? I think it's another 2 or 3 times.
Well, they're a big team. So Monday Night Affair. Yeah, that's kind of your pinnacle game.
Listen, I think the people who work on Hockey Night in Canada and work on the regional broadcasts here in Canada do the best of their ability. Sure. This is not an insult against their talent or what have you, but they are owned by a corporate body that paid a lot and then has spent the last 7 years going, how can we do this for less? And so I find it kind of shocking when you get that compared with an organization that isn't looking to spend the least amount of money on their broadcast. And you can kind of, you see it on the margins, not in the main thrust of it, but the margins is where it feels a little bit more like the people who are doing it are looking to impress you. Right. And that's what I appreciate that about a Prime, is that they're not coming in and kind of trying not to step on anyone's toes. Not that they're doing anything world shape, but they are throwing stuff at it, right? And they are paying for a proper producer, executive producer, and having a proper game plan.
Refreshing to see in this day and age.
Just effort. You just appreciate effort.
Yeah. And again, much like the game last night, it is in those slim areas that make the difference overall to the
it's where you can tell the difference between the two. Right?
Maddie, any thoughts on last night's? I know, again, coming from your background, everything, production and all this, I mean, what do you agree with Tube Socks for most of his points, or do you take a different direction and want to go and take this whole thing somewhere else?
No, I just looked at it and it just felt like an NHL broadcast to me. I didn't. It was clean. It was fine.
Yep.
Boom.
It wasn't great. It wasn't this out of this world, oh my God, they've reinvented NHL broadcasting. It wasn't something that I really sit there outside of one poorly worded question and I go, this was a disaster.
Yeah.
It was fine. I don't like that I'm on Amazon Prime watching it. I like to flip. I like to flip.
No, but that's
and it's not as easy to flip.
I see what you're saying.
I could change my, I have it on my Google Chrome. I have cable on a different input on my TV, so I can flip the input quickly and watch, but it's not as quickly as just switching a channel while you're on cable. So that's going to take some getting used to.
Okay.
I like that there was no commercial break in progress. We'll be right back. It was actual commercials that filled the voids, but it was fine.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's one of those ones where it's like, I just give a crap. Like, that's all I want.
They brought the crew out to Edmonton.
Yeah.
That's always something
cool.
that shows that you're invested in this a little bit.
On a Monday night?
To fly a certain amount of people to a different city, as opposed to just doing it in the studio and going that way to bring them out.
Now, pardon my ignorance. Is this one of those platforms you can get on one of those, what do they call them, a Fire Stick?
Yeah.
So you could...
Yeah, Amazon Prime and Fire Stick are owned by Sticks are owned by Amazon.
Okay, but if you were if you get off that, would it be easier to switch around? Like,
I've never used a Fire Stick, so I don't know how it is to flip between all that
own
stuff.
Fire Sticks.
So if you're watching on that, you'd be easier, as he said, to kind of switch from one thing to another, as opposed to kind of going into the app.
It depends on how many things you subscribe to and what have you. But yeah, you can run everything through your Fire Stick, including accessing live television.
You know, Christmas is coming.
Yeah.
And, if you're thinking of something for the old Rickster here,
they are dirt cheap.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get into that.
$30.
I'm gonna have to look into the old Fire Stick.
Google's getting rid of their cheap version of their Chromecast.
Yeah,
because that was only like $30 for the longest time, but now they're going to like a $100 version. Yeah. That's a little more Apple TV-esque.
Troll says, thought the game presentation on Amazon was fine. Announcers were fine. Intermission crew could be upgraded. Okay, so, yeah, I mean, look, have your thoughts this morning. If you agree, that's fine. If you have something else you'd like to chime in on that particular thing, why not? We're here for you. 780-218-9999. Let's get into the morning after show here. We'll take a few minutes to really dive into last night's game, albeit, a bit of a stinker, and we won't spend too much time. Of course, we've got Craig Button coming up and Walking Gage. We'll get their thoughts as well on last night. But 3-0, Devils with the win down at Rogers Place over the Oilers, 31-16, the shots in favor of Edmonton. Your EST big moment that happened in last night's game.
The second goal, the power play goal.
I agree with you there.
The Oilers had allowed the first goal against on a screenshot and did not allow it to kill their momentum or their effort. You could tell that they felt like they were carrying the play to New Jersey, and then they take a really dumb too many men on the ice penalty. And we had Ryan Rashog on yesterday, and Shoggy pointed out when Matty asked him, like, what's going on with the penalty kill? He said when it's working right, they deny zone entries. And that was as easy of a zone entry as you're going to see a team get on the power play. The Oilers were never set on it, and it resulted in a pretty quick power play goal. And 2-0 heading into the third period on a night where the other team's goaltender is solid. Like Jake Allen did not allow a rebound of any significant sort of danger, right? He was snuffing the play dead. Just one of those nights where Special teams were the difference maker. I mean, I think a lot of people would have liked to have seen a power play goal, but when you only have 2 power plays for the entire game between 2 squads, it's tough to be that critical of a power play either.
But then the special teams as a whole, when you give up one to the opposing team and they go
score your own,
man, it's just a tough look. But again, a close game. And another thing Shoggy brought up is, I'll get into the superstar right now. New Jersey out hitting Edmonton 19-5. He mentioned last week about the physicality, and he was kind of pretty gruff about that. But 5 hits.
Yep.
I know we were making excuses, schedule loss, back-to-back, second half. I mean, all this stuff. But 5 hits when Prime is in town.
Yep. Yeah, it's not a lot of running downhill on guys,
no,
right? And so is that because guys are trying to do too much because there's no Connor McDavid? I think they might be a little bit guilty of that, right? It's hard to hit if you're trying to hold the puck at all times. Like, there's not a lot of chip it into the corner and go and get it back, which is, how you can develop some sort of scrambly play.
Yeah.
And the Oilers right now, you see it on their zone entries. They are committed to carrying it across. And so that is going to affect your physicality. Like, physicality does not come from defense. It comes from offense. It comes from looking for contact in the offensive zone, and you're trying to lead that to scoring chances. And it's not how they're choosing to play hockey right now.
3 stars of the game last night. Jake Allen, obviously number 1 with the shutout. I mean, that was a hell of a night. Your boy Bratt.
Jesper
Bratt, his 3rd goal of the season, making it 2-0 last night. He's your 2nd star. And Adam Henrique, an Oiler, getting a toss to bone there. He had a couple of looks. Again, if maybe those are put in earlier in the game. Podkolzin as well, I think, had and he was quizzed. Do we have any post-game in there? I didn't ask you before, but if you find anything, Maddie, I mean, we can play a little something for the people this morning if they may have missed last night. But I know he was well-spoken guy, pretty to the point. Like, he was like, yeah, I mean, those are things I have to do. That's my job. And I was like, okay, no sugarcoating that. But I mean, a few things, a few bounces go. Tight game, good team, and a few errors, and here you are.
Dreisaitl's looking a little tired as well.
And his
got absolutely owned in the face-off dot.
Yeah. But his game of late, I mean, again, picking it up for McDavid as a last night out of the picture. We all knew that was the answer when McDavid's out, that he's going to be. We all kind of did the game of, well, who else could it be? Well, it's him, and he did it, and it's good. But, yeah, I mean, maybe a little tired. And, again, that back-to-back thing, again, rearing its ugly head for the Oilers last night. If you could pick a 38th star from last night's game.
38th.
It's a bit of an exercise in, if you tell it. I mean.
Ty Emberson did not have a strong game last night. Well, let's
fair
give
enough.
it to him.
Yeah, okay. I mean, have your pick, right? I mean, it's just kind of. 4th star of the game, too. Ekholm had close to a half an hour. Him and Bouchard, 28 and 27 minutes combined on the back end there. So I'll just use that pairing as well for the 4th, and you pick Emberson for the 38th. Love it. That's your morning after show this morning. Oilers dropping a 3-0 home decision to the Devils. Sorry, you got anything, man? Yeah. Okay, we'll hear from Henrique. Post-game last night, this is Adam Henrique.
There. Already good pressure, good opportunities to do that, but we're just getting some
What say you?
big chance
Hey,
for the night early on, right off the crossbar.
Yeah, the play developed well, and then I made the move I wanted to, and then just get too much of it there.
You guys are, I know the penalty kills are work in progress. You're trying to find it. What do you think kind of some of the keys are, what's missing?
Yeah, I think that one's on me there, just taking a little bit of the wrong turn. And when those little details, when it's not going your way, they just seem to find the back of the net. So, again, it's just the little details and areas of the game, and I take responsibility for that one.
In the big picture, though, I mean, this obviously was a significant strength of your groups towards the end of last season and in the playoffs. I know there's been some personnel turnover, but do you have an explanation for how it can go from where it was to where you're struggling?
No, I think, it's a little bit of personnel change, but I think, last year when you get guys in it, you like to kill in pairs and kind of have that familiarity with each other where you're just going, and in the back of your head what the other guys are doing, and it just flows easy. So, I think at times we're finding that, and then there's just little things, little details that are sometimes get out of sync, clears, little roots, they're keeping pucks in, and then they end up in the back of your net. So it's just those little things, but they end up being big things in the end.
Are you almost battling yourself with all the chances not going in and the frustration getting into the game?
Yeah, it's you got to just work through it and work and I guess as far as our line, we'd like to produce more offensively. I think tonight we had opportunities and chances, and it's easy to get frustrated, but you got to find that mindset in there. You got to keep working through it and keep pushing, because if you don't, it can snowball the other way quickly.
This is a team.
There you have it. That's Oilers forward Adam Henrique speaking post-game last night. Oilers falling to the Devils 3-0. He was also the third star of last night. So get your thoughts in if you have any on the game or you have any on the Prime broadcast, 780-218-9999, Paris Julier's inbox, or in the Nasty Chat. I'm seeing a lot of a Starzilla. Who else was it here? Smith TM14. A lot of people saying, and Wheels as well. Nice to see you, Wheels. No gambling ads was what a lot of people are kind of getting to right now and loving the fact that there's no gambling shoved down your eye sockets last night.
Give it time.
Yeah, but let me just enjoy it for now. Hey, a brief reprieve, I guess, of all the gambling.
I'm glad you did enjoy it.
Coolbet Canada Hotline of the day as well coming up today, 7:20ish, as we'll go back to Mr. Lean and see what he's got cooked up. And congratulations as well. If I may have mentioned already, but the D-Gen parlay going on. Yes, Gen Cool. I did make mention of it. But all you nasties out there with the Chiefs win last night and all of your winnings and success, congratulations to you. It's 6:32. We'll hit a sports update here. It's Lieutenant Eric, Wil Fraser in for Dustin Nielson. Matthew Iwanek as well behind the monitors and making the show click this morning. He'll have your sports update right now for Nisku Glass coming up in the opening hour. Fired up. That'll be on the way, and it's fitting that segment is ahead of a Craig Button of TSN, who's usually pretty fired up in his own. We'll get back into the Oilers game as well. And your thoughts and opinions, 780-218-9999. This is the Nielsen Show, EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Edmonton Oilers a shutout by the New Jersey Devils. Edmonton Oilers shut out by the New Jersey Devils 3-0 last night at Rogers Place. Oilers will next be in action Wednesday against the Golden Knights. Only one other game in the NHL yesterday as the Kings also blanked the Predators by the exact same score, 3-0. In the Monday Nighter, the Chiefs needed overtime but remained undefeated as they beat the Buccaneers 30-24. While the trade in the National Football League this morning, the Browns sending edge rusher Za'Darius Smith to the Lions along with a 2026 7th-round pick for a 5th in 2025 and a 6th in 2026. Toronto Raptors, they dropped a close one to the Nuggets, 121-119, falling to 2-6 early in their season. Elsewhere in the NBA, the Clippers came back from 26 to claim their first win at Intuit Dome. And the Suns, they beat the 76ers 118-116. This EST Sports Update, it's brought to you by Nisku Glass. If you're looking for a replacement glass for your construction equipment or fleet vehicles, or a home or business owner looking to upgrade your space with high-efficiency windows and modern glass designs, Nisku Glass is here to help. For your home or business to your vehicle, they won't just meet your glass needs, they'll shatter them. Check out their Instagram or call them 780-955-7989 and see what Nisku Glass can do for you. Up next, we continue on to the Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric and Wil Fraser. I'm Matt Iwanek. You're up to date.
The Nielsen Show featuring Lieutenant Eric. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
6:35 on the Nielsen Show, EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Attempting to stream on the iHeart and TuneIn radio apps this morning. I know a few people are expressing some hiccups on those streaming platforms, so please bear with us. We will get on it, and maybe
Dustin wasn't sick enough already.
That was today?
There was a few people saying TuneIn is a bit glitchy. Specifically TuneIn, let me know. Let us know. Don't be shy. We need to know so we can get on that like a dog on a bone and get it going for you. 780-218-9999. YouTube Nasty Chat is humming along as well. Once again, if you are partaking in the visual this morning, hit the subscribe if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. It's great. You're up to date and Everything pops up live when it's happening, so you don't miss a thing on an EST. And hit that thumbs up as the pursuit of 100 continues during this opening hour. Once again, Lieutenant Eric Wil Fraser in for Dustin Nielson. We wish him well and hope he gets a little better here. And Matthew Iwanek holding it down. Fired up, coming up in a matter of minutes. I want to get to the rest of the show here as well. Craig Button of TSN at around 7:05. We'll get into the brief NHL picture last night, set up the slate tonight, and other things going around at the world of hockey. Coolbet Canada hotline of the day. We will go to Mr. Lean for that. I'm really looking forward to that. The EST Flyway to LA, your next chance at the keyword and next chance to qualify as well. That'll be coming up just after Coolbet Hotline. Brought to you by the 780. And
Nice.
dropping off one of these shirts as well. E-Town. It's got the nice, I told you about this material last week. It's my favorite material.
A brushed cotton.
Breathable. I just love it. So we'll get to that. Your next chance. Be by your phone, 7:25-ish this morning. The EST Flyway to LA presented by the 780. Weekly confessions on the way as well. If you been a bad little boy or a bad little girl over the past couple of days or weekend, you can get them in. Usually it's for fantasy football and fantasy sports, but life confessions we will take.
Sounds like you're bringing that pervert perch into the show today.
Lurker's Ledge.
Yeah.
I really love that. More names for the whatever it is at the casino there, the line of chairs. And the Fan Zone for Fans First, rounding out hour number 2. Kind of easy trivia. How did that go yesterday? Did you cobble up the questions again?
Of course. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
One of my low-key most favorite things about you coming and filling in are the questions. I don't know which route you're going to go, but easy money on the line there. We'll be sending somebody to Mr. Mike's Kind of Easy
I
Trivia.
take the kind of easy to heart.
3 questions, too many as well for Park Mazda. That hurts for James H. Brown at around 8:20, and our second and final guest of this Tuesday, November 5th show, Joaquin Gage. I'd like to get his thoughts as well. It was a busy weekend for myself personally. I want to get his thoughts on the Formula One action as well, as he always texts us, what a day for racing, and he's always up for it. So we'll get his thoughts on that, and of course the Oilers loss to the Devils, and set up a big one tomorrow. The Vegas Golden VJK is what they call them. Vegas Golden Knights. They'll be in town. Pacific Division leading or tied with right now the Kings. 8-3-1 are Vegas. The Kings 7-3-3, but 17 points. It's good enough for top spot in the Pacific. Vegas in town tomorrow night. We mentioned the hit count. You would think that that'd be up a bit tomorrow. The two teams, a healthy rivalry, would you not say?
Well, and understanding that they're going to have to go through one another if they want to contend for a Stanley Cup.
Absolutely.
So, probably a little more emotion than you would have for the New Jersey Devils. A litmus test game. I mean, Las Vegas dealt with injuries all last season, and they found a way to work it out. They were not great, but they found a way. Oilers need to emulate them in the exact same sort of way. Like, you got to find depth.
Yeah, and speaking of depth, there was a trade last night as well that the Oilers executed, acquiring defenseman Ronnie Attard from the Flyers in exchange for defenseman Ben Gleason. That opens up a bit of a veteran spot there. Ronnie's a little younger than Gleason, so he moves up there. A bit of a glut of veteranship down in Bakersfield. Yeah. I had a soft spot personally for Ben Gleason. I know he'd probably never factor in day-to-day for this team.
He is that very classic tweener that the AHL spits out from time to time. A guy that's kind of too good for the American Hockey League and just either can't find the soft landing spot in the NHL because it is so competitive of a league. Either size or speed is limiting his opportunity in the NHL, but it is not smarts, like a really smart hockey player.
He moonlighted a bit, I think, during the Cup run last year. Not getting it too much time, but some good preseasons along the way. So Gleason season hashtag no more, at least around these parts, as we wish him well during his remainder of his career in Philadelphia. And the Oilers are crying Ronnie. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Attard. How would that go? How would you take a stab at that? Attard?
Yeah, I think I would.
Ronnie Attard?
Yeah.
Ronald Attard.
Until corrected, I would just go phonetic.
Ron Attard, a member now of the Oilers and Bakersfield Condors. So I know somebody in the nasty chat wanted us to get to that trade, and there it is. And I don't think any more time needs to really be discussed about that, unless you're fired up about it.
No. I mean, I'm willing to be surprised, but I don't expect to be surprised by anything involving this trade.
Let's get into Fire It Up right now for Gemco Fireplaces. They've been proudly serving Edmonton and area for 45 years. They are the authorized dealer for Napoleon Fireplaces, whether it's gas or wood burning. Look no further than Canadian-made Napoleon Fireplaces. All the Napoleon products you need are available at Gemco, 9281 50th Street. Fire It Up. What are you fired up about? 780-218-9999 or in the nasty chat as well. I was fired up yesterday. I made my Reed Wilkins Show debut.
Wow.
You can hear the Reed Wilkins Show 3 to 6 here on EST, Monday to Friday, alongside Jason Milne. Fired up for a variety of reasons. I love Reed. I was expressing that love to you off the air here. Just a funny guy, a great guy,
yes.
a different cat than most, the stuff we do.
Weirder than he seems.
Oh, yeah.
He's sneaky weird.
Yeah, and I think this platform really lets him, the chains are off in a sense.
That's right.
So I really appreciated the boys having me on. I joked, must be a slow news day. You know how you do? And yeah. Because,
did it land?
Well, nobody else was home at the time, so I said it to myself, and I kind of, they wrote me on the show. Must be a slow news day. Looked around the living room, and, I kind of, it's a tough crowd. But no, it's great. And Jay Milne was on there too, which he's got that Glue Crew line as well. That's the EST pop-up shop. If you go to edmontonsportstalk.com, EST shop tab, you can check out the Edmonton Sports Talk wear and accessories, but also there's a Glue Crew line that he's cooked up. So I know I'll be getting a one particular item from that line and a few other things. But once again, shop EST. The EST pop-up shop is live right now at edmontonsportstalk.com. But I was fired up. I was fired up to get on there. And I think I was on at around the same time. They also do a fired up segment on that show. So I had a real good time detailing, albeit perhaps too graphically, the weekend that it was for myself. Going to the Rough Rider win over the BC Lions in the CFL's West semifinal. But it fired me up. It's nice to be wanted. You know what I mean? To have somebody reach out and say, hey, would you like to join us on our show?
This feels pointed. I want you.
No, nothing. This is nothing. No offense. Present company. There's so many opportunities. Dustin's not going to pull me in on the lock shop and ask me for my betting advice.
True.
Nor should he.
Nor should he. Yeah. That would be irresponsible.
But this was nice, especially on a scheduled booked vacation day off. I really appreciaed the ask.
Well, that's very nice.
Yep.
You don't sound fired up about this at all. In fact, you feel it sounds placated. It's almost like you were fired up, and this has finally tempered those flames.
I wanted to do a lot of things around the home yesterday, and this was just kind of shoehorned in.
Yeah.
But I made time. It was great.
You did it while cleaning the bathroom.
I did not. I cleaned some windows. I did a lot of these. Well, the weather was fair enough for it.
Yeah.
Are you fired up about anything? Does anything have you fired up? Was it the Prime broadcast?
Well,
and if not, what else?
Honestly, as a basketball fan, I am fired up that no one told me that yesterday was basketball day in the United States. Like
every November 4th.
Like you think about
every 4 years. Is
like you think about Hockey Day here in Canada and the way that we have somewhat turned it into a holiday for hockey fan. All 30 teams in the NBA were in action last night, and it looks like the entire NCAA men's basketball world was in action.
You got your fill of the hoops. Yeah.
Like it was.
You were hooping.
It was a wild day of basketball yesterday, and no one gave me a heads up. And I'm a little fired up.
Well,
like,
who is
if something like
you were
that
here yesterday doing a sports show? Who's doing the updates?
Yeah,
were you not up to date here?
It feels like an absolute missed opportunity if you're USA basketball. Like you could have turned that into quite an event. Like that the entire basketball world was playing basketball yesterday, and no one happened to think, hey, this seems kind of unique. Maybe we should tell people about it.
Look, I am a casual fan. I own a few jerseys.
Yeah.
I dip my toe into the basket. I like it when it's on playoffs and everything like that. You don't have a team, do you? Like a specific club that you have a vested interest in?
I grew up a Bulls fan, and so I'll
Chicago.
Always,
I should have known that.
Bulls fan, but.
Bulls losing to the Jazz on home court. But I wanted to get to this too. And Maddie, if you do have a second, Pistons winning over the Lakers 115-103 in part of the basketball day. Does that at all fire you up here early on in the season?
No, it's Anthony Davis got hurt. So it's more, I'm concerned.
That's what's
I'm worried. Anthony Davis being hurt is worrisome, but it's not getting fired up.
Maddie's just fired up because there's no Soto news yet. Yankee fan over there is...
No, I'm getting fired up at a provider of our stream.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Give it to me.
There
What
we
do you,
go.
yeah. Give us the goods here.
Not that anyone can
do we
hear,
have an
because
update?
clearly the stream is
No, I
not
don't know.
working.
Can the
but,
listeners do anything? Yeah.
No, listeners can't do anything.
Can we help you in any
Yeah.
way? Maybe I'll just leave you alone.
Do you want to dox anyone working with the streaming service?
Yeah, name names.
Yeah,
Are you
name
chatting
names,
with anybody?
addresses.
We'll.
I think they're just bots. That's what's annoying. to
Dusty
me.
thought they were real people.
I was on one where I'm sure it was a bot. I actually outright asked him, "Are you a bot?"
Was his name Nathan?
Because no,
Did
but
the
it was
bot answer back with, "Are you?"
no. But they answered back, "No, I'm not." And I was like, "Well, that's kind of what a bot would say."
That's exactly what a bot would say.
The nerve.
But I left. Well, it's because like they were asking me questions I already answered and like already explained in like other answers,
That's
but
a
it
tell.
wasn't a direct.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well,
That's
if
what
you have
that is
any
what it
sort
feels
of,
like talking to you.
If you have
So-
any sort of reading comprehension, you
Why
would
are
have
you
known I've
still
already
asking me
asked
this?
this. Well, it's even like I asked them like after we had to get it on email. It was on a chat, and I just threw out and said like, they're like, "Do you want this version or this other version?" I was like, "Well, I want the other version." And they emailed me like a couple of hours later, going, "Okay, so when I'm building this out for you, which version do you want?" I was like, "I already answered." So I'm sure it's a bot.
Maybe it's this attitude that's led to the streaming problems. Maybe they're like,
you have to be nicer to AI.
Oh, Mister can't ask a question 2 times.
No, that was a different provider. That was one we're looking at jumping to.
How about those jokers in Congress?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm sorry.
stop playing.
I
stop
ventured
praising
into the murky
machine, man.
waters that I said we weren't going to go into. Well, okay. Look, I asked, you delivered. You are fired up, and as you should be.
I want my elephant. Yeah, absolutely.
What an episode. So, look, if you were trying to tune in this morning or things such as that on the streaming platform, tune in. Bear with us. Maddie is on it. And when Maddie is on it, you damn best know that it's going to get
problem.
Well, but look, he's going to figure it out. He's going to sniff this. Like Dusty again was chatting with these guys. He was like forming relationships.
Sure.
He really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I think even so much so that he would have liked the problem to continue so that he could continue chatting to these people.
Maybe
for the
that's
show.
what's going on. Maybe
now
the providers feel the same way. That they're like,
What took you
I
so
haven't
long?
heard from my Dustin in a while. Let's just turn down knob A and knob J here. And
Yeah, that's all it is. Oops.
yeah. Click. I wonder if I'll get a phone call.
I know it's not maybe convenient for some of you, but you can always pop over to the YouTube. That's going strong. We'll always be on something here, streaming even on the website, edmontonsportstalk.com. So if it doesn't work on one platform, kindly, if you can, skip to the other one and see if you can digest us through there. Speaking of which, Warrenville Steb says, hey, is Dustin okay? You guys are doing an outstanding job here in the mornings.
No.
I'm having a blast. I've also been listening to him every morning since I was 17. I'm 33 now, and I'm worried about the guy.
You should be.
I mean, do you want to give what was the update? Did I miss anything yesterday in terms of? I know what was the phrasing? He will be out indefinitely.
Yeah, he's day to day. Yeah,
we said he was day to day, but now this is kind of turning into a. He's no Connor McDavid, is he?
It's been a full World Series, and now I maybe will stretch it into a Grey Cup.
He might miss the whole McDavid ankle sprain, right?
That's right. Yes.
Wow. McDavid hurts his ankle, gets back on the ice sooner than Dusty with a little cold.
Yeah. He decided that after more than a week of suffering from a respiratory illness, maybe he should see a doctor.
Well,
which if it had happened to anyone else, I'd be like, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. But when Dustin says it, I go, that is the most Dustin thing I've ever heard.
This actually has fired you up, and this has fired up
It's
for Gemco Fireplaces
from years ago. Yeah.
But you are now kind of you're looking for people to blame, and did I hear this
it's
correct?
Tammy. This is
you're going to
Tammy's
the
fault.
significant other.
This is Tammy's fault.
God bless Tammy.
Tammy knows it. It's why she's not talking about it. It's why she's not on here right now giving us an update. It's guilt that's keeping her from doing it.
Yeah.
Like as I said yesterday, this is why it's her fault. She's clearly a competent parent. They have 2 wonderful children.
Great kids.
Get to school on time. They're well fed. They are deloused when needed. Like they are good, upstanding future citizens. And so she can't claim she didn't know what to do. Like you make the doctor's appointment, you drive the child there.
Yeah.
And so this is Tam. This is on you. You know better.
You can't blame the kids.
No.
Like so when you go through the house and I think Zach's patient zero here. We've kind of identified that early on. He was And again, we did say, and going back, Dusty was doing a bit of a victory lap around here one morning, claiming how his lifestyle
wild?
and his
Isn't that wild? Like,
that's how the universe works.
if there's someone who should not tempt the gods, it is that man. Yeah.
You're already living a dangerous life.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
don't add on any more fuel to that.
Yeah. If there's one person who exists only because of supernatural forces, it's Dustin. So don't tempt those forces to turn off whatever magic sauce they've had on to keep you in the tip-top shape that you're in.
Because he was running, 3 hours of sleep, a little bit of fried food here and a Belgian moon, and he was.
Yeah.
That's all the vaccination he needs for a flu
Dave
season.
Jameson is so disappointed, yet not surprised.
I don't even think we tell him.
Yeah.
He can't know about any of this.
Yeah.
What's it say here? Andrea says, yeah, the website and TuneIn aren't working. Jocelyn says, TuneIn working for me. The web browser is not. So
that feels like a brag.
Well, no, but it could be. It could be. Depending on your device or your hardware that you're using,
that
your
everyone
plan.
sees the text, so these are just conversations that are happening back and forth.
Chris the plumber says, iHeart's been a little glitchy for me, but it's connecting. So there's that too. Nobody has the exact same answer.
Right.
Everybody's got a unique, different, which makes it a lot harder or easier to diagnose, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure when there's multiple symptoms, it's way easier to figure out what the actual cause is.
You're right. D-Rock chimes in. He's fired up for Gemco Fireplaces. 4 games in 6 days for Oilers on Wednesday. Eric, check out how easy the Jets' schedule has been. Aha. So we're blaming it's the Bettman, it's the scheduling. The Winnipeg Jets, though, 11-1. That's we're talking about the Predators and finding their footing. You're trying everything evens out, even Steven. Everything will kind of go back to form. Mm-hmm. Who or what is stopping the Jets right now, too? That's D-Rock's fired up for the scheduling, but just to kind of go in the Jets quickly here.
Yeah, Connor Hellebuck's health. That's what will...
Plus 29 goal differential.
Yeah. As soon as they run out of gas in Connor Hellebuck's gas tank, and it's going to happen, right? He's going to be the starting goaltender for Team USA at the Four Nations. This can only last so long because it only ever does last so long. I guess I'm surprised that Hockey Fan is surprised that the Winnipeg Jets are having a quick start to their season, because that's what the Winnipeg Jets do.
Sure. Well, and they've improved special teams as well, which was kind of in the tank last season, and that's kind of added to it all. Arneal is...
Be more surprised if come February they're on a 7-game heater. That's what will be more surprising.
Yeah, absolutely. Wheels in the Nasty Chat says, YouTube is working. Thank you very much, Wheels.
And thank you, YouTube.
Oh, thank you, YouTube, and thank you, Wheels, for communicating that on YouTube. Very nice. Caper Boy says, so nice to have Wil Fraser back talking sports. He does spell your name, though, with 2 L's. But
spell it with 3. You know what?
We had none last week.
Listen, I can only afford 1, but if you've got the money to spend on extra L's, go for it.
That's not going to fire you up today. That was fired up for Gemco Fireplaces. Once again, proudly serving E-Town and area for 45 years. 45 years. The authorized dealer for Napoleon Fireplaces, gas or wood burning. Look no further than Canadian-made Napoleon Fireplaces. All the Napoleon products you need are available at Gemco. And that address, again, put it into your phone, 9281 50th Street here in Edmonton. I also want to get to something that came across the, not the desk, but my email account here, actually. And it's for Popeyes. As mentioned, you can get the bone-in bone wings, and had a delicious meal on the road on Sunday coming back to Edmonton here. But a new deal as well for Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen. They are our studio sponsors. They're bringing back the big box, Will. The big box is back. 2-piece signature chicken, 2 regular sides, and a biscuit with an option for a drink upcharge. Also, the continuation of the tailgate bundle featuring 24-piece wings, boneless or bone-in, 3 regular sides, and 4 sauces. And lastly, and I know you've been waiting for this, the hot cinnamon apple pie back at Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen studio here. But check out Popeyes today. When it comes to a chicken, and you consuming a chicken,
the whole thing,
thigh, breast, wing.
It depends on temperature, right? Are we talking piping hot? Because then actually a thigh's pretty nice.
Sure. You're getting you sit down, you get the big box, the 2 pieces in there. What 2 pieces do you want to be staring back at you?
Yeah.
You can only have 2.
So I will take the thigh,
and
I'm gonna throw you an
Give
absolute.
I knew you would.
A back piece.
A backstrap? Do they call them backstraps?
I don't
for
know
a
what
chicken?
they call them, but like, you know what I'm talking about, like where you kind of have to dig around for the good white meat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I still don't mind a good drummy. I don't like them in wing form.
Yeah.
But I like doing the whole caveman, like eating around in the.
Interesting, and I prefer them in the wing form. So
I'm
I
a
think
flat guy.
I think you and I are a perfect date.
That's right.
Yeah.
It'd just be a pile of bones.
It
That's
would
all
be.
we would have.
Yeah.
We would enjoy everything.
I'd
we would
be handing you all the flats.
This one's for you.
Yeah.
Yes, one's for me. Very, very cordial meal.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, maybe you and I, again,
We'll
one of these
go
shows, get a
share
little hungry and head on
share
down to
some wings.
Popeyes.
Yeah.
Once again, the big box, 2-piece signature chicken, 2 regular sides
Cold,
and a
however,
biscuit.
it's the breast, right? Like you,
Yeah.
you cold chicken, you want the breast.
Share the biscuit. You could cut it down the.
Yeah, we annoyingly just take
You're not a prick.
in
Pick
like
at it.
inaccurate chunks, right? Where we kind of have to start to think about, well, how bigger was his break off than mine?
Tossed around like medieval times.
Yeah. As long as I wipe my hand on my pants.
Well, sure, you
before
gotta,
breaking into
You know, it's a great
yeah.
meal when you got that grease stain on your jeans from Popeye. God, love it. Sounds delicious. Once again, also the tailgate bundle, 24-piece wings. That'll be great. Goes down well here at the station. I think we've done that in the past. Boneless or bone-in wings, 3 regular sides, 4 sauces, and the hot cinnamon apple pie to finish it off. All you can find at Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen. We thank them for being our studio sponsor. 656, once again, 780-218-9999 is the number to text. And text of the day on the line as well for A&W today. Get that Mama Burger deal in ya. Once again, if you have any issues today, let us know. We'd like to diagnose the problem as quickly as possible, and we appreciate your input. Andrea from Calgary says, watch on YouTube now, but the Sports Talk channel isn't even showing up on Apple Music, which is where I usually access the tune-in feed. The problem runs deep. So it's an Apple. The apple has gone rotten. You could say, hey, is that a...
Was it ever...
It's a Gates...
Was it ever not?
Pat in the county says, boys, you have to taste the biscuit. And he says that in quotes. Am I missing? Is that a joke? Is that a dirty...
I don't know.
Did I say that
like,
correctly?
does he mean like just dab it on the tongue?
Sure.
And then be like...
Put it back.
No. Yeah.
No, I love the good biscuit. It's a nice add to the whole...
where you broke it off? Yeah.
Brandon from Windsor says, years of fruit and vegetable neglect finally catching up with Dusty. That could, they're chock full of vitamins, so I hear. Hey, the old vegetable.
Yeah. Proper eating would not hurt at this point. It'd be a nice choice.
Yeah. Let's see here. Amish Man 19 in the nasty chat. Wait for Fired Up. Did they just play LT's hit from the Reed Wilkins show? I wasn't too fired up, but that was part of my Fired Up Amish Man 19. I was really fired up to join them. It was great. And this is an interesting...
Are you fired up for your team's chances against Winnipeg?
No.
Yeah, you shouldn't be.
Why? Well, why would I be?
Yeah.
They had no business even being here. Winnipeg is the class of the league. It's never been in doubt all season long. Especially that game against Montreal to sew up the division with 1 week remaining, to which they needed to win. Never in doubt. They're the class of the league. They're looking to add and build to their dynasty. And for the Rough Riders, I mean, it's a first-year head coach. They had no business being anywhere near where they're at.
Yeah.
And you're playing with house money right now. That's all it is. You got a home playoff game, luckily enough. They won it, which was great. But yeah, I mean, Winnipeg should manhandle them on Saturday.
Yeah. Trevor Harris does look cool, calm, and collected.
I don't know, but he's old.
Yeah.
You have always been a Harris guy, have you not? Going back to his days as an Argonaut. It was him and Caleros, the two-headed youngsters coming out of that Argonaut system early on.
I've always appreciated a quarterback who maintains composure when everything else is falling apart, and Trevor Harris has that in spades. He's not a dynamic athlete, which is the drawback.
And he knows that.
Right.
Yeah.
But he plays within himself.
Absolutely. Completion percentage usually through the roof, and I think a pretty good running game. And the offensive line, albeit injury-riddled throughout the season, has been coming into form and playing as a cohesive unit. But we'll leave it at that. Bob Loblaw and Lloyd says, I wonder how Dustin and Suits' relationship will be now after Dusty infected him. Dusty was on the call. But we had our...
Do we know that? Did he get Suter sick?
Unconfirmed. I don't know. His contagion period must be over with, though, right? Like he's just kind of battling through now the aftermath of whatever.
Oh no, who knows? He could be Typhoid Mary. Like this could be This could be months long.
You have contracted dysentery or whatever, right? Like the Oregon Trail or
Oregon
whatever.
Trail. Yeah.
6:59. That does it for the opening hour. Thank you very much. Look, if you are listening, once again, just send in your issues. We like to combine them. We like to hear from you. I mean, that's the only way we'll figure things out. So 780-218-9999 is the Paris Jewelers inbox. Come hard after that. Or we were taking suggestions for how Connor McDavid is healing so fast. Maybe a John Tavares amulet around his ankle. Maybe some sort of a plaster on the ankle. Maybe an ingestion of some sort of potion or something like that. I mean, really get creative here.
It's all
Why not?
probiotics.
It's all probiotic.
He ate so much Greek yogurt.
So much yogurt. It's that way.
Yeah.
It's Lieutenant Eric, Wil Fraser in for Dustin Nielson on the Nielson Show. Coming up next, TSN's Craig Button. We'll get into last night's games. Pair of 3-0 shutouts in the league and NHL action, and take a look at tonight's slate. Coolbet Canada Hotline of the Day. Your next chance at the EST Flyway to LA. We'll have a keyword coming up mid-hour. That's weekly confessions as well. And the Fan Zone for fans first, all on the way.
Fan Zone.
Matthew Iwanek has a sports update right now, and we'll get to that. Craig Button coming up just to start off hour number 2 here on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Edmonton Oilers shut out by the New Jersey Devils 3-0 last night down at Rogers Place. Up next for the Oilers, it'll be the Golden Knights on Wednesday. Only one other game in the NHL last night is the Kings. They also blanked the Preds by the exact same 3-0 score. In the Monday Nighter, the Chiefs needed overtime but remained undefeated as they beat the Bucks 30-24. While trade this morning in the NFL, the Browns sending edge rushers Darius Smith to the Lions along with a 2026 7th-round pick for a 25th round pick and a 6th round pick in 2026. Association action yesterday. Toronto Raptors dropped a close one to the Nuggets, 121-119, falling to 2-6 early in their season. Elsewhere, Clippers came back from 26 to claim their first win at Intuit Dome, and the Suns beat the 76ers 118-116. This EST update is brought to you by Green Plan, providing you with award-winning environmental and consulting services, whether it's municipal, industrial, or residential. Plan it right with Green Plan. Visit greenplan.com or give them a call at 780-455-4292. Up next on The Nielson Show with Lieutenant Eric and Wil Fraser, Craig Button from TSN stops by. I'm Matt Iwanek. You're up to date.
The Nielson Show featuring Lieutenant Eric. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
.03, you are listening to The Nielson Show, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, streaming as well, iHeart, TuneIn apps, and on YouTube, which might be the place to go this morning. But if you are watching along on the YouTube,
hi,
hello, you can see us. It really adds to the whole thing. Why just have the audio when you can have the visual accompaniment? Our pursuit of 10.5K subscribers continues. So if you haven't already, hit that sub button. And we have changed 100 on the show. So let's get for 2. Hit the
Changing 100.
Yes, Maddie. Yes, Maddie.
Yeah.
I love it.
Maddie's a little punchy, okay?
But he's on it.
If you're at home
Maddie's on it.
wondering, like, oh, that seemed a little slow, the guy's been up for 42 hours. He has not gone to bed.
That's why we call him the Iron Man.
That's right.
Around here.
Yeah.
Maddie doing the Lord's work this morning, and we appreciate him for that. Let's hit that 200 mark by the end of hour 2. Once again, jam-packed hour 2, leading into a fun hour 3 as well here on the Nielsen Show. Lieutenant Eric, Wil Fraser in once again for Dustin Nielson. We wish him well as well. I think there was a doctor appointment, or he went to a doctor.
So he claimed.
Word of the mouth
so
suggests.
He claimed. Yeah. If you saw Dustin at the doctor's office, if you are his physician, feel free to drop us a line, give us a phone call, give us an update. Exactly what is it? Polyps? I hear that's not a good thing.
I can't wait till he comes back. Yeah, he took out that little hammer and hit me in the knee.
Yeah. I said, doctor, I'm dealing with chest congestion. What does this have to do with my knees? He said, shut up. You'll take it and you'll like it.
780-218-9999 is the Paris Jewelers inbox. And you can have your thoughts in there. This one's interesting. A 431 area code. I didn't like your comments on the Winnipeg Jets. You guys are just jealous because your Wil Fraser Oilers, are not doing so well.
Things are looking up. I own the Oilers.
The Oilers just are not the same team as last year. Management let too many good players go. Connor should get more rest because he could damage the ankle more severely. Look, I do agree with your latter points there.
What did we say that was so crappy about? Oh, that
I have no idea.
Oh, that tell me when they're hot in February.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I'm just pointing out that the Jets start most years pretty hot. They were in first place at Christmas last year. And so when people are sitting around going, I can't believe that the Jets look so good early this year, I think it's ridiculous because the Jets look good early every year. The Jets' problem is not the regular season, right?
Yeah.
The Jets' problem is that they hit the playoffs and everyone else's game elevates and they don't have anywhere else to go. They are a well-coached, deep hockey team.
Yep.
With a
spread out nicely,
with a spectacular goaltender, and unfortunately, that goaltender gets tired because he has to carry so much of the load every year. Maybe this year will be different. Maybe this is the year where he comes in fresh, but I just don't think that's going to happen in a year that is condensed and has a Four Nations Cup where you are going to have your best player be the most important player to his team.
How dare you?
This is not an insult.
We're giving them flowers. No, we're actually we're this is praise. We're just saying, based on history and what we've seen, this is kind of usually what happens. Prove us wrong.
And not only that, but your team is not going to continue at this pace. If they did, we're talking about one of the greatest regular seasons in modern history.
And if that happens, we will.
Right. We'll be sitting here going, I can't believe they've maintained it. And we won't be alone because you'll be saying the same thing.
Well, your Oilers will still be 500, right?
No one, even the diest of diehard Jet fan, is sitting there going, I think this is a 70-win squad.
Matt Hyman says Jets are the only team that is undefeated on the road. Yeah, no, we're giving them. We're not. I don't know what you didn't like about the comments, but when it comes to the Oilers, yes, they aren't the same team as last year. They've had a bit of changeover as well. That'll take some time to get used to. And yes, Connor probably should get more rest, but if he thinks he's good to go, nobody knows his ankles more than he does. So if that's the case, we will wait and see. But Connor McDavid as well taking part in the optional skate. We'll get thoughts on that. It looks like, what is going on there? What
are you looking at?
See that middle camera on the left-hand side? That's Craig Buttoncam.
Oh, okay.
And he will be joining us here. Right? What's that facing, do you think? I can't make that out.
I don't ask.
Is it a car?
The ridiculous
That's the inside of his car.
That's the inside of his car. Okay, I like where this is going. Craig's a man of mystery.
Is he taking us on a road trip?
I'd like to think so.
I'd be there for that.
On the road with Button. And we kind of go through. I know Noodles sometimes joins us in his car. He's waiting outside certain places, but this looks like he's ready to go somewhere. Okay, well, we'll.
I just don't know if we're going to get him on video or not, or if he's just audio.
I love this.
But he's connected
this
like
is what
this,
I
and I
love
don't
the
know if
most.
he's ready to go or not.
This is what I love the most. We will keep Craig Button in the bullpen here and see if he wants to join video-wise. Maybe he'll talk in the background, and that is the image that we use.
I'll take it.
You're for it.
Yeah.
Although I do miss seeing it.
Are we?
I hear a little
Well, this is a preview for just the two of you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Of his mic.
Yeah.
Can he hear us if I talk?
He should be able to.
Craig.
Hey. Okay, maybe there's no video. Okay.
No video today?
I'll bring the audio. I'll bring just the audio on.
Good morning.
Just give me a sec.
Good morning, Craig.
Hey, Eric. See, I sent a note to Dustin saying I had to do this by phone, and I didn't know he's getting his knee tapped by the hammer.
No, see, and Craig, that's just a communication, on all our parts here. Not on you though. You didn't know, but yeah, Dustin should have.
Can you see me?
Pass that along.
Dustin should have passed that. And Craig, it's not your fault. Dustin has been ill, and without him in the office, there's no one here to read his texts to him. So there was no chance he was going to.
He's the point man for his own text.
Yeah.
So, Craig, if you
should have sent it to you, Eric. I apologize.
No, don't apologize at all. You have nothing to be sorry for. If you wanted to connect via the phone, that's fine too. Whatever. Audio works. Okay. Yeah. All right, well, we'll have
Is this working okay, or do you want to do by phone? Is this okay?
This is okay. This works perfectly fine. Really appreciate your patience, Craig. That's you're a team player. Want to let you know, Craig Button today from TSN, brought to you by Pro-Am Sports. You can gear up for game day. Oilers jerseys, headwear, hoodies, and hats from Fanatics, New Era, 47, Mitchell & Ness, in stock now. Located Edmonton, corner of St. Albert Trail, 128th Avenue, or online at proamsports.ca. Yes, Craig, it is Lieutenant Eric, Wil Fraser in once again, Dustin Nielson continuing on the mend. Let's just dive right into last night. Not a lot of games to go around league-wise. A pair of 3-0 shutouts. We'll begin here in Edmonton. Is it as simple as, mental errors, close game against a good team from an Oilers point of view?
Well, I think so. New Jersey lost to Calgary on Friday night, and I thought Edmonton played a really good, strong game versus the Flames on Sunday night. Emerged with the victory. You talk about timely, right? So they get the power play, and boom, that's the winning goal. And they played what I thought was a real good game from start to finish. You're going to be moments in a game where a team is going to push at you, and you got to be able to withstand that. And the Oilers have shown that capability over this last stretch of a couple of weeks for the most part. You come up against a good New Jersey Devils team, and it comes down to a couple of plays. I always think I'm a huge I'm a Patriots fan. They're no good now, but I'm still a fan. But I always love what Belichick used to say after the end of a game, whether they won or lost. He said it comes down to a couple of plays. We made more on the case if they won. They made more for the case if you lost. And I think that's what you're trying to do to get your team into a state of and I use this term quite often. You have to treat, and maybe not in November, but in games and when they become more critically important, you have to treat every single play as critically important, because you never know which play will turn out to be the one that turns out to be critically important.
You worked for years within hockey organizations. You look at a schedule and you want them to be competitive in every single game that they play in, but there are peculiar situations in a schedule where, similar to the Oilers coming off of a road trip, come home on the second of a back-to-back and face a team that's been waiting 3 days to play them, that is fresher. You should still be trying to win, but are you less critical the next day than you are in other situations if you're part of that organization? Or are you not, or do you just not want to allow excuses to ever be part of the process?
Yeah, I think the answer could be yes to both of those. I think coaches are always going to evaluate the game, and they're going to say, okay, what did we do well? What could have we done better? And knowing, and keep in mind, the teams all know going in to the season, into this stretch of games, what awaits them. So, you get to a scenario where you say, okay, yeah, we're coming off the road. Let's just make sure we give ourselves a chance to win. And I think the Oilers did. Sometimes I look at the schedule, and I know there's matrices and everything, but I don't understand how you can have a team go on the road, play a game on a Sunday night, and then have to come home and play in front of your home crowd like the Oilers did. That's my own little beef. It was a beef when I was part of management. I didn't like that. Now, that being said, I think that you never want to have excuses for your team, and certainly aspirations to be at your best each and every night. I think it's a great goal. It's not realistic, but did you give yourself a chance to win? Were you prepared for what the challenge was going to be? And I'm not just talking about the New Jersey Devils. I'm talking about the game per se. I think that as a coach and a coaching staff, you're always trying to understand that, manage it, and then move on from it.
Connor McDavid does a skate yesterday, comes off the ice, tells the media that he feels fine. As a former manager, how do you manage an asset like Connor McDavid? Like, do you take a step back and say, if he says he's good, then we let him go? Do you try to baby him a little bit and say, we're in charge, we know what's best for it? Like, how do you negotiate that when you're dealing with such a special athlete like a Connor McDavid, who seems like he's got superhuman healing qualities?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's okay, too. I mean, he's a thoroughbred. We know he is. But even when we go back to the injury that happened against Columbus, you take a step back. You're working constantly, and with your physio group, your trainers, and to understand what's going on. So this isn't like all of a sudden like, oh, boy, Connor hurt his ankle. Okay, what should we do? It's ongoing care with your players, and certainly Connor, he knows his body as well as anybody. You saw that right in that game. He goes, something isn't right, so I'm not going to continue on. They got him back to Edmonton. Let's see what it is. Let's make sure it's nothing more serious, and it wasn't. And now you trust that they're going to be testing his strength. They're going to be testing how he flexes and everything, and then he goes out and tries it. And he's going to be honest. He's going to say, hey, listen, it's feeling 90% or it's feeling pretty good, or I don't have any type of pain when I skate. And then that you take that in. I think it's a big part of the evaluation is that when they hit his knee with a little hammer, like if his ankle doesn't hurt, then he's good to go.
TSN's Craig Button joining us this morning, brought to you by Pro-Am Sports. Craig, I just wanted to get one more in for last night. Ryan Rishaug brought it up too last week, and concerning the number of hits that this team registers night in, night out, usually on the lower end. They had 5 last night. Will and I were talking. He kind of brought up the theory and maybe a product of not having Connor McDavid in the lineup and playing a bit of a different game. It has been going on, though, pre-injury. It does seem that when this team drops the mitts and gets and engages in a fight, it's like a B12 shot to the lineup on the ice every night. So how much do you attribute the lack of hits? And I know some rinks count them a little differently, but the overall lack of physical play from this Oilers team contributing to this .500 record.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, first of all, you ask yourself the question, and I do. Okay, so what are you trying to do as a team? Number one. Number two is, we can measure it in hits, and what is a hit? I think physicality is about, okay, I'm not going to be deterred. I'm going to push through resistance. I'm going to make sure that I get to a puck first. So if you're getting to a puck first, guess what? You're not delivering a hit. If you are in the right position, you don't have to be in a spot where you're chasing down somebody to take them off the puck. You can take it away with your stick, good, smart positioning. And I think we've seen that from the Oilers here. Honestly, I think that everything has to be taken in its proper context. And, you talk about the B12 shot. I get it. I mean, there's certain things in a game, a big hit, a scrap that can kind of boot the group, morale, so to speak. But all in all, the game is played over these micro moments, and every micro moment has a different type of scenario. And again, if you're in the right position and you have the puck and everything, you should be hitting. The other team should be hitting you more. And there's going to be times when you want to establish a forward check and you want to be a little bit more physical. But I think that to just look at the stat sheet and go, oh, the hits are down. Oh, maybe this is affecting them. That's not the way I looked at it.
TSN's Craig Button with us. Craig, let's go to the only other game on the schedule last night. Predators fall 3-0 to the Los Angeles Kings, generating only 16 shots in the shutout loss. Are we getting to panic time yet in Nashville? We're all kind of waiting for them to show signs of life, to show a reflection of the talent they have on their roster, and it's just not happening.
Well, when I look at the Nashville Predators, so let me just rewind for a second. I think we were all quite impressed with what Barry Trotz did in the offseason, adding Steven Stamkos, adding Jonathan Marchessault. Because last year, they were a team that they nearly touched on 100 points. And they played really well against Vancouver. They couldn't score. So now we look at it and we go, oh boy, they added scoring. This is a team, they've really, taken hold of something that they need to be better in, and that was goal scoring. And we think that you had Stamkos 40 goals, you had Marchessault 30-plus goals. That should help the goal scoring. And I was certainly in that category. But I also was in the category of, They don't have a number one center. And to me, when you're Barry Trotz, it's great to add scores and it's great to add players that can put the puck in the net. But it's like having great receivers and tight ends. If you don't have a quarterback that can throw the ball downfield, you don't have a quarterback that can make those accurate throws, doesn't matter how good your receivers are. And I think that right now, when I look at the Nashville Predators, they're wing heavy. If I was, he's going to go find the center. He's going to they're right out there, as my good friend Chris DeBorlo used to say. And he goes, oh yeah, you just go down the 7-Eleven hockey aisle. Oh, number one centers, they're not there. They got big problems. They can't score. That was their problem last year, and they're not going to fix that right now until they get a better center in there. Ryan O'Reilly's really good. He's not a number one, and then maybe you get 2 Ryan O'Reillys, but they don't have a center that can facilitate the strengths of those wingers. So you ask me if it's panic time? Yeah, I would say it is. Not big panic, but you better take a good, long, hard look at where you're at, because where you're at, I don't think it's going to improve unless they find a way to. One of two things has to happen. They got to get a U2 concert on the schedule that Andrew Burnett can cancel, or they go find a center that can make plays.
Craig, just wanted to talk, of course, Predators losing to the Kings. Kings now even on points with the Golden Knights in the Pacific 17. Golden Knights playing one less game. That is the opponent tomorrow here at Edmonton. Should be a delicious affair between the Oilers and Golden Knights. What can you talk to us about Vegas here? 8-0-0 at home, 0-3-1 away from Las Vegas for these Golden Knights team, 6-3-1 in their last 10. What can fans expect from this iteration of the Golden Knights rolling into Edmonton?
Well, I think the record speaks for itself. At home, they've been unbeatable, obviously. And now Bruce Cassidy and the group is going to try to find a way to get that team to take their home play onto the road. And this is a team, when I looked at their blue line, one...
Yeah. I think, yeah.
To be continued.
That group of blue liners, outstanding. That top line of Barbashev, certainly on the road, they got to find out the same type of game that they play at home.
No, it should be fascinating, Craig. And the tough run here for the Oilers continues, albeit they're looking pretty good, especially minus their captain. So we'll wait on that. We appreciate your time this morning. In the audio form, people are still loving it, Craig. Enjoy your weekend. We'll talk next week.
Yeah, we will. Thanks, Eric. Thanks. And hope Dustin gets better.
We'll
we
pass
all
it off.
Do.
Yeah, yep.
We all do. Thanks, Craig.
I think the guests especially. Little less of me isn't necessarily a bad thing here. But Craig Button, we appreciate his time. It's brought to you, as always, by Pro-Am Sports. Once again, your locally owned sports memorabilia and apparel specialists. You can gear up for game day. Oilers jerseys, headwear, hoodies, and hats from brands such as Fanatics, New Era, 47, Mitchell & Ness, all in stock now. Located here in Edmonton, corner of St. Albert Trail, 128th Ave. We're online at proamsports.ca. 7:22. Let's head to Coolbet.com and bring in, if he's good to go, he is just working, Mr. Lean. Hello.
Good day.
Not today. Hey, Matthew. Just not today.
Any update on the chats with the AI bots?
Still looking into it, but he'll personally keep me updated.
Personally.
Nathan will personally keep me updated.
Is it Nathan?
This one's Nathan. He'll personally keep me updated.
That's the guy that Dusty was talking to for like a week.
They've really developed a strong bond.
If Nathan asks how Dustin's doing, then we're...
Yeah, exactly.
No, I asked him outright, just like, why has there been no progress on this over the last couple of weeks?
Oh, my goodness.
Been a little harsh today.
Yes, you should be.
I wouldn't want to deal with that guy.
See, Dusty was striking up a friendship. This is business. This is business.
Yeah, good cop had his chance, man. Good cop had his chance.
Now you came out and he said our team is looking
Matthew
into
this. Walking in, he's put down the New York City phone book.
Puts the gun on the table.
Puts the phone book down. And he's like, listen, how are we going to solve this problem? Because I have an idea, and I'm hoping that you have an idea.
Well, they come and they said, like, I'm looking at the message, the same message they send the last, like, 3 times or whatever. Our team's looking into this. So I asked outright, like, your team's looking into this. Any progress?
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting the same message. So now Nathan says he'll personally keep me informed.
Yeah. When Matthew Iwanek walks into a room that you're in, and he immediately goes, long sleeves, good choice. And then you know we're in big trouble.
Yeah.
Like
The phone book.
the bruises are going to be everywhere.
You have two choices.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, Craig Button was like robotic.
I didn't get that.
That was his phone, I would assume.
No, I went and listened. I think somewhere between what we're listening to.
Oh, we weren't getting
and
the same
going
thing.
to our listener. I'm blaming Nathan on that one.
It's the Belarusian bots. We're being attacked. Clearly.
Yes, this is a slow bleed. It's just kind of a look, he sounded good on our end, so apologies if Button was a little distorted.
Yeah, I'm just going on the YouTube, and it doesn't sound right on the YouTube even. From what we were listening to, which makes zero sense to me.
We'll get through this, guys. Come on.
Coolbet.com is where we can go. Once again,
Matthew Wanek is spiraling. It's not good.
Look, a night off for the NBA, a full slate of NHL action this evening. I mean, get your hockey fix. Mr. Lean, a sight to be seen. Where are you heading either today or tonight?
Hotline of the day hit yesterday.
Okay, good.
So we'll throw that out there. It did say LA Kings as the underdog against the Predators. That was the hotline of the day, and that one hit. The BST parlay for game day parlay. We were the put Coles in point and an Oilers win away from the victory on that one.
Yeah, the shutout did not help.
Goals.
So 1 for 1 yesterday, or 1 of 2 yesterday. I've got a lean and I got a hot Coolbet hotline of the day.
Hello.
Lean today. Champions League's back.
Okay.
One of the hottest scorers in Europe right now is the Canadian Jonathan David.
Yes, he is.
He's taking on Juventus. They are home, Lil, to Juventus. Him being an anytime goal scorer plus 205.
Oh, I like that.
That's a little sprinkle right there.
I love it. I really love
There's
it.
your Mr. Lean right there. Is Jonathan David continuing his goal streak
Continues
going on.
his revelation. Like,
he's got to make a move, though.
it's wild.
Got to make a move.
When you go even 3 years back, no one saw this coming, did they? To be serious now with football, like, you guys are both football watchers. You didn't see this level, did you? In Jonathan David?
There was a level, and people talked about him moving to Italy, perhaps. That would have been a destination, correct? As in terms of a league, and where would kind of mirror his attributes and everything.
Like, he looks
that
like
quality's
he
built
looks
and
like
raised.
he's 5 inches taller.
They're
out
talking
there.
Premier
Like,
League now. They're talking Premier League.
Yeah, like he is like an elite level striker right now.
Long may it continue with World Cup on the horizon.
Yeah,
I mean,
Matty Owanek doesn't want to jinx it. He doesn't want to say anything.
There's nothing to say.
Yeah.
Coolbet hotline of the day. You got 2 teams meeting. Last 10 games, one team's 4-4-2, the other team's 4-5-1, so somewhat similar. One team, though, is coming in on a 2-game losing streak. The other team's coming in on a 2-game win streak. These 2 teams met just not too long ago. The one team that's won 2 straight, they won that game 4-3, yet they are the underdog in this game. Your Coolbet hotline of the day, the Boston Bruins to beat the Toronto Maple Leafs, plus 130.
Yeah.
Money line right there.
Never a bad bet to take the Bruins over the Maple Leafs.
an 06.
In Toronto, but again, Leafs have lost 2, Bruins have won 2.
Yeah.
These 2 teams met not too long ago. The Bruins won that hockey game. Last 10 overall, they've been about the same.
Yeah.
But the Bruins, they are the underdog in this game, plus 130. There's your Coolbet hotline.
Yeah, there is actually a couple of really nice storylines with the games in the NHL tonight. Flames Canadians, 2 rebuilding squads. Rematch of the 89 and 86 Stanley Cups.
Sure.
Obviously Bruins, Maple Leafs, even Senators and Sabres. Like sometimes we make fun of the Turtle Derby, but this is a good Turtle Derby game.
Yep.
In as far as 2 teams that are pretty desperate for a win. You throw in there Penguins Islanders, which is a rivalry game. It's a good schedule to kind of channel surf tonight.
Yeah, I think Macklin Celebrini back as well. I mean, again, going to the Turtles, but Sharks at home to the Blue Jackets.
Yeah.
Chance to watch a little talent there.
Former Jets versus current Jets in UHC versus the Winnipeg
That's
Jets.
weird. Hey, I guess it is.
Yeah.
Because they get so bent out of shape that they can't delve into history because this is a totally different Jets.
Yeah.
Like you can't take anything from Jets 1.0. This is 2.0.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good play there too.
Yeah.
The Jet Bowl in Winnipeg. And again, nothing against the Winnipeg Jets. I just want to make that clear.
No.
We are a full.
No, they would be betting favorites.
We are all
in
on
this
board.
one.
Yeah. We have no ill will to them at all.
Just an intriguing schedule, and the Kings get to have the back-to-back. When you talk about schedule, we talked about the Oilers facing a scheduled loss last night.
Yeah, this would be it.
They got it, and the Kings, this is their scheduled loss in that they played last night, and now tonight they have to go up against a competent Minnesota Wild
They've won
squad.
3 in a row. They're right on the heels of the Jets. 18 points to Winnipeg's 22 in that Central. It is tight near the top up there as well. Dallas have lost 2 in a row. They've kind of slipped off a bit, but I'm sure they'll be back. But yeah, so good slate of games tonight in the NHL, wherever you look. It is 7:29. It's Lieutenant Eric, Wil Fraser, and Mr. Lean Matthew. Did you want to do the word now, Maddie, or do we want to do a sports up? Yeah, we can do the word now.
Is it a word? I guess that's my only question.
We will do the word.
Is
Still
it a
no
word?
for you. So according to you, no,
What,
not a
Nuge?
word.
You really like Nuge? You loved Nuge last week.
No, it's not a word for you.
It's not a word. It's barely a name.
Nougat? The EST Flyway to LA. It's presented by the 780. The 780 is a homegrown local shop right here in Edmonton. 780, both the shop name and their in-house clothing brand right here. Celebrates all things unique to E-Town. They also work with close to 100 local vendors from this area code to help promote and get their brands off the ground. You can check them out online at theword780, numbers 80.com, or any of these 5 locations: Southgate Mall, Londonderry Mall, Kingsway, St. Albert, and the Outlet Mall by the airport. We love them. Great place to go and find things you didn't really know existed, and all from local vendors. It is the 780. It is the EST Flyway to LA. We're sending you and someone else to Los Angeles, December 26th to 30. Hockey, basketball, football. You also get the flight, the hotel, and the rental car. You can qualify 4 times daily, and as well Saturday, correct, for
On Hello Hockey.
On Hello Hockey with Cazzola and Belsey. So you got Warriors, Clippers, Cardinals, Rams, and Edmonton at either one of LA or Anaheim. Once again, that's all brought to you by the 780. So get your phone out right now. You're going to text in this word, 780-218-9999. If you text it in, then be by your phone. Wait for the call. Pick up the phone. Remember we did that little exercise? That was great.
I got too
I still got the video
from
here.
it. HR spoke to you. They said you're not allowed to say that anymore. Yeah.
So once again, be by your phone when you text in the word. Matt's going to put the word on the screen in a matter of seconds here, I think. We got the keyword coming up here.
I didn't know you were going to put it on the screen.
We don't do
so this is our.
I don't
this,
know.
This is
I
our
do it
fault.
usually.
Well, I was.
So this is
I
our
don't know.
apologies.
They don't
Apologies.
do it on the other shows. I
Okay.
do it on the Hangout, but
You're right.
I didn't know that happened here.
No, okay. No, that's okay.
Right, so
We
now,
don't
now
have
he's-
to either. I mean, it's
Yeah. I guess
This
could
is
just,
awkward.
We could
I-
just keep it to ourselves. It's a tough contest when we do that, but
a real tough contest.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
at least it's a full
Well,
name.
it's a name.
It's a
but
name. Yeah. At least
I guess a
it's-
name is a word.
Is there a reason why it's this?
Yeah.
Why?
Mason McTavish plays for the Anaheim Ducks.
Oh,
And you might go see Anaheim, just like Fabry yesterday.
I get it.
But the word
So-
today is McTavish. Does it matter if the C is capitalized or lowercase? Does that get
No,
into
but
if
make sure
text
you
it?
spell it right.
Okay, yeah, McTavish.
You don't want the A in there.
And you don't want a MacTavish, yeah.
Yeah, you don't want the McTavish, M-A-C. It's
2
M-C.
H's,
This
yeah.
isn't Craig McTavish, the keyword. The keyword is McTavish.
People's News was getting autocorrected to all sorts of things. It was great. It was a beautiful site.
huge
Huge bug.
bug. There's a lot of bug.
A lot of bug. I've been known to circumcise a gnat.
Yeah.
Right?
Here's a quarter.
Text McTavish 780-218-9999, and we'll be calling one of you that texted in. So once again, be by your phone and accept the call. Pick up the phone.
I
When
told
Maddie
you.
phones.
You've
That's
been
the-
warned.
It's the final step.
You're only allowed
780-218-9999.
5 of those in a day.
We'll get to a sports update here from Matthew Iwanek for the great folks down at Park Mazda. It is Lieutenant Eric, Wil Fraser, and for Dustin Nielson here on the Nielson Show, EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Edmonton Oilers shut out by the New Jersey Devils 3-0 last night down at Rogers Place. Next up for the Oilers, they'll welcome the Golden Knights to town. Only one other game in the NHL on Monday. The Kings blanked the Predators by the same score, 3-0. In the Monday Nighter, the Kansas City Chiefs needed overtime to remain undefeated on the season. They beat the Buccaneers 30-24. Trade early this morning in the National Football League. The Cleveland Browns sending edge rusher Zadarius Smith to the Detroit Lions, along with a 2026 7th-round pick in exchange for a 2025 5th and a 2026 6th. Toronto Raptors dropped a close one to the Nuggets, 121-119, falling to 2-6 early in their season. Elsewhere, the Clippers came back from 26 to claim their first win at Intuit Dome, and the Suns beat the 76ers 118-116. This Edmonton Sports Talk update. It's brought to you by the great staff at Parkmaster and dealer principal Mitch Lewicki. They won't have issues with Nathan if you went when they have their issues. Matt's still not happy with Nathan. Coming up next, we continue with the Nielson Show with Lieutenant Eric and Wil Fraser.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a ninja fighting off evil samurai.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Closer to the hollow, the devil may care. If I showed you around my heart, would you mind if I shared to show you what's wrong with me? I will not change it. I will wait patiently while you get painted out. Let me into your untainted tribe to be the one who gets to live a lie. Oh, let me lie with you. I'll be a perfect stranger. I wanna be that stupid boy that you don't talk about. You better believe there's a sharp knife beside my bed. You better believe there's a sharp knife inside my head. And if you would leave, I would take you by the hand. You and I would leave, but it wouldn't be that bad.
There you go, Edmonton Sports Talk House Band, and just good overall local group, Whale and the Wolf, for you there. It is 7:36 here on Edmonton
however,
Sports
though,
Talk. What's this?
Do not lend them money. Just they're not good for it.
When you live life on the road, and you know you're a musician, and I'm looking at you, Brandon Yagi. You take what you get. You know what I mean? It's tough cutting hair and playing rock and roll music.
It's true.
It's you don't not a lot to claim on the old tax game. Lieutenant Eric, Wil Fraser in for Dustin Nielson. Matthew Iwanek is calling somebody right now. So once again, if you text in McTavish, be by your phone. You could be getting a call. 780-218-9999, Paris Julie's inbox. And we're coming to you live from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen studio. The Nielson Show, once again, always presented by South Fort Chevrolet as well. Check them out today in Fort Saskatchewan, www.southfortchev.com. Drive a little, save a lot. The Nielsen Show presented by the great folks at South Fort Chevrolet. The problem is I don't have an update on Daniel's fantasy team. He did enter 0-7 at some point. I wonder if he's gotten a win. But Claire, if you could clarify the status of Daniel's fantasy team, we'd love to know. Or go ask him yourself out in Fort Saskatchewan at South Fort Chevrolet. Want to get now to confessions for Spectrum Rental. But we'll get to this qualifier first here. Confessions coming up. Once again, if you have any confessions from the weekend, fantasy-wise or real life, I guess, text them in 780-218-9999. It's coming up for Spectrum Rental. Maddie, who do we got?
Craig's on the line.
Craig?
Craig
texted in McTavish.
Oh, I see. You know what?
It's spelt with a K.
You know what? It was
not a C.
It was completely over my head. But you're absolutely right. That is...
But Craig with a K? That's odd. Craig, how you doing? You spell with a K, hey?
That's correct.
That's cool.
Is it pronounced crag, as in like
Craggin?
A crag in the rocks or something like that?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah. Craig, congratulations. You have qualified. Have you been to Los Angeles before?
I have one time.
Business or pleasure?
Pleasure.
Okay. What are you most looking forward to on this trip? Would it be the Warriors at Clippers in the Intuit Dome?
Get into it.
Cardinals, Rams at SoFi, or Edmonton again in the ice hockey, taking on one of which, LA or Anaheim?
I think the Intuit Dome, that would be pretty unreal.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's all paperless, Craig.
Perfect.
All in the app.
Yeah.
You can see Ballmer and the boys.
Craig, you're pumped because if there's one thing you wanted to eliminate from your life, it was paper.
That's correct. Yeah. That's exactly right.
Congratulations, Craig. Keep trying to qualify, man. You are in the mix. Once again, it's the EST Flyweight LA presented by the 780. Good luck.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
You betcha. Craig with a K.
Craig McTavish.
I'm thinking of Crane from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the brain, right?
Yeah.
That's in the Technodrome.
Yeah.
Craig with a K.
Craig with a K.
I have never.
Is blowing my mind.
I know Will with one L is one thing.
Exactly, and that's coming from this guy.
Yeah. But
like I
nothing. There's anything wrong with that. I mean, it's
flirt
very
with
unique.
the insane by dropping one L off of my name, switching the C to a K in Craig.
Well, it's a tough life. What's your name, sir? Craig, and then you have to go on and say, actually, it's spelled with a
wow.
Yeah. Penner's Pancake says the guy had all the tones of a serial killer.
Yeah.
Loomis says Craig is business first, business second, and business on the tail end.
That's right.
Yeah. He would have that rental car back with a full tank of gas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With a misspelled rental agreement, however.
Craig, we love you. Congrats, man, and good luck.
I don't know who this Craig with a C is.
He really pounded the piss out of this thing. Yeah, whomever he is, I don't know. Your next chance to qualify will be coming up 9 to 11 this morning on the EST Hangout. Matthew Iwanek, Tom Gazzola, Jasmine as well. Is it just the... Do we have a fourth? No?
Is it just the triumvirate?
It's... Yeah. Yes. So they'll be triangulating the Hangout today, and your next chance at the keyword will be 9 to 11 on the Hangout. But you can qualify all throughout the day. EST Afternoons, Lock Shop, Reed Wilkins Show as well with Jason Milne coming up later on today. Let's get into confessions. Once again, as promised, brought to you by Spectrum Rental, where they confess to believing that everyone gets shut out on a cool Monday night from time to time. Spectrum Rental specializes in all types of construction heat. Don't get caught in the cold. Get your temporary heat at Spectrum Rental. And we thank them for getting their timely confessions
I really like that, actually. Who hasn't been shut out on a cool Monday night?
It happens from time to time, as they go on and say.
Yeah.
Will, you're a dad, you're a father, you're a successful husband.
I play one.
Yeah, but you don't have much to confess, do you? Or what? Like, you got nothing. And that's okay.
Here's my confession. My kid is away at university, and there are people within his dormitory, in fact, on his own floor, who listen to Edmonton Sports Talk. And he is refusing to identify himself to them because he is afraid that he doesn't want any part of a listener of this show.
So they listen on their own accord. This isn't him going there and saying, hey, guess what, blah, blah, blah. He is totally out.
In fact, like he has...
I love it.
He has walked down the hallway and when I heard, because I try to talk to him every day, and he goes, I heard your voice again today.
You know what you've just done, though? You've outed him now.
Yeah.
Now they know there's a mole in the house.
Well, now they know they should be in search of it. So that's my confession.
Isn't that something?
If you are, I'll say the city. If you're in Kamloops right now.
Why does he not want to identify as an ESTer?
Well,
I'm just going to throw that out there.
Because he's selective in, like, he doesn't want, he is worried of the parasocial relationship, right? Like of the person who feels like not only do they know you well, but you clearly know them because you've had a relationship with them. Truth is, for many of the people listening or watching right now, I've never met you, even though it feels like I have. I don't know who you are, and that's not an insult to you. It's not, but there is an intensity to the relationships that develop out of this that my son rightly, instinctively has decided. It's too much.
You told him about the nasty bash, didn't you? Didn't you? Confess.
He may have heard a tale or two. Mainly from my wife, and went, it's not for me. Like, it's not my kid saying, I watched you, because he would never do that. He has no interest in this guy, like, any more than he needs. No. Right? No, he's literally
his own man.
Has just overheard it in the hallways of a dorm.
But I love how now it's a little out of the bag. Not fully. I mean, you haven't outed him, you haven't doxed him, shall we say. But Kamloops, if you're listening, he walks among you.
He does.
Right?
Lurks.
Let's see if you can pick him out.
Yeah.
Lurks, yes. Lurker's Ledge. Matthew, I know you're working very... Do you have anything you'd like to confess or get off your chest to the nasties out there?
No, but Craig is in the nasty chat.
I see him there.
Craig?
And he says, not going to lie, I took that phone call in the shower, was trying to not to give that away. So there's his confession.
I heard
in the
dripping.
shower.
I heard a drip.
Dripping or gripping? I thought you said gripping.
I said dripping.
Okay.
But old pervert's perch over
on,
here, you went completely.
It's bad ears.
Somewhere else.
I can't.
Well, bad is
Craig,
absolutely.
Nice to see you, man. That's Craig
Nice
with a K
to
checking in.
see ya.
LOL. He says he's having a great time. I love it. Yeah.
I always stop in at the Friesen Brothers in Hinton on my way west because it's the nicest bathroom.
Oh, okay.
It is just
that helps. Yeah,
pristine. They clean it like it's wonderful. And I walked in, and there was a guy in the stall in the back having a straight-on, like full-on Bluetooth conversation with someone. And like, first of all, it's bad form to talk to someone while you're using the toilet. I don't know how much further bad form it is to not only do that, but to do that in a public bathroom. Like, that's just, I felt upset for the person who was talking with him.
It is bad form. It will translate some shape or form. Like it does get over. You can kind of
That's just it's one of those things where it's like you're allowed to take a break. If you need 5 minutes to handle whatever is needing to be handled, just don't turn the Bluetooth earbuds on and just continue. It's upsetting.
Ian Ferguson, Fergie's Prostate, says, if I was Craig, I'd spell it Kreg. And then we got a nasty chat from Jesse here. Your son, I assume he's talking about yours because neither Maddie or I have procreated here. Your son served me steak during the summer, guys. A gem.
Yeah.
And is proud of his dad.
Yeah. He lied to you about that.
Well, yeah, I'm kind of.
But he does work for tips. So
is this one of these Kamloops?
No. This was in Spruce Grove at Barbacoa, where he a very good server. But that's probably more on you. Like, he picked up on that you liked me, and so he then reflected that back to you. Like, he understands that it pays the bills to pretend that he has a relationship with his father.
I'm also going to confess that I'm going to miss somebody dearly, and we like to kind of make fun of him. I like to imitate him, albeit it's from a kind place.
Okay.
But Wheels, a Teef, a nasty listener, still not a member of the nasty member. He's not a club. Matt shakes his head disappointingly. Get your damn card, Wheels, because you are a bit of a you're a fraud. Really, to lack a better. This guy won an SD. We carried him on stage at the SDs. He's been around. You know him. Wheels, a Teef, the guy in the chair. But Wheels, I must confess, I'm going to miss you, man. I'm going to miss you at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge. And I know we go back and forth sometimes. We engage in some jabbing, some barbing. But it's all friendly. I hope you take it in jest. But Wheels will be going, if you don't already know. He's taking his talent south of the border for 5 days. His EST hat is coming with him. He's going to use it as one of the... Remember that fad where you bring a garden gnome everywhere you go on a trip and you take pictures?
I do not. No,
yeah,
do not, but does it help
if
I say yes? Yes, and.
Yes, and... he's bringing his EST hat. He's going to take pictures of it with famous landmarks and such, and for his own collection and personal... But he's going to Dallas, Texas, and sledge hockey tournament. He'll be in representing the Oilers. Some of the team leave at 6 a.m. in the morning. The rest of the team leave on Wednesday at 6 a.m., and that'll be him leaving Wednesday. So he's gone for about, I think, 10 days, 5 days, something like that, but he won't be at the Central Casino Sports Bar and Lounge, where I usually like to see him on a Thursdays. It really... I look forward to it every week, Wheels. I will confess, and I know you may think I don't, but I'm going to miss you, buddy, and good luck on your trip, and many successes to you. I know I'll be pulling for you here
Godspeed.
from Edmonton, and EST. The Nasties, they got your back, even though you aren't a card-carrying member, shall we say, but you got to get on that. 780-218-9999 if you have any other confessions. Once again, weekly confessions brought to you by Spectrum Rental. 747, let's get into the fan zone here quickly as well. The fan zone brought to you by Fans First, for fans, by fans, no fees. And it is the place to get if you want some Oilers tickets or look into getting Oilers tickets.
What was that again?
Fan zone.
The fan zone.
The fan zone. www.fansfirst.ca, by fans, for fans, no fees. And get your tickets today. And I wanted to get to this.
Zone.
I placed this letter here in front of you, and you got a little curious, I think.
Well, you know that I've been legally charged for tampering with the mail, and I felt entrapped by that.
It says Mr. D. Nielson. It says E. Holt. They use my last name for some reason, and HR Daddy Nielson. So it's addressed to. I mean, I'm one of the 3 on here. I think I can open it. You cannot, as you mentioned.
That looks
Yeah, it
like
was
a
dropped
summons.
off yesterday.
That feels like a summons. Like you.
Look how thick it is.
Yeah.
It's got some weight. It was dropped off.
It was mailed. It was in the mail.
In the mail. So the
that was Canada Post
person.
It was given to me.
I did
and
not have dying by ricin poisoning on the
ricin.
But on the bingo card that did not exist.
You know the
but now I'm
penmanship
starting to-
on here is pretty.
Oh, that
you know,
that
that's,
feels cabin in
this
the woods.
Cabin
for
in the
sure.
woods. You're right. Yeah. JBB and the Bing Bing Boys. So nice to see you. Hopefully, again, I'll see you again after opening.
Fingers
this.
crossed. This is just a manifesto.
It seems like it. It's all. And Maddie, you said this was delivered. We didn't have to pick it up because
yesterday.
again,
No,
the
it was
weight on this
delivered
puppy.
yesterday. And again, my name's not on it, so I didn't open it.
No, fair enough.
So it had to be one of you 3.
JBB and the Bing Bing Boys. This is for the fan zone. Fan mail.
Fan zone.
Love getting fan mail. Oh, look at
See, that's what I'm
boy.
just saying. Like that. That's what's going to kill us.
This is
That's
way
some
too
thick paper.
Yeah, that's a manifesto.
Oh my God.
That's a yeah.
There are pages
That
here.
is an essay.
Yeah, that is. Oh, don't lick it. That's how they get you.
yes.
Oh, he can't lick anymore.
Oh my. All right. Well, now you know.
There's a resume attached.
Yeah, that's always good. I find I just attach my resume to any correspondence.
Yeah. Here's the resume.
And is that gum?
These okay.
No,
So
those
there's
look
some
like-
packs in here. Indiana Jones.
Okay, nice.
We'll save these for Friday. There. Thank you. Ooh, Magnum PI. Look at that. And there is gum in all of these. And my personal favorite, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: Secret of the Ooze. You know the way to my heart. But this is a. I don't know if I should read this whole thing.
No,
this is way too wordy.
This is personal correspondence.
There have been moments over the years where I momentarily reveal myself, but in the interest of seriousness, blah blah blah. Oh, so this is like a reveal.
Aha.
So he goes back, detailing how he started listening. He mentions you a couple of times.
That's a shame.
3 a.m. Big job hunt. He says I've included a job proposal. Forever nasty.
Oh, man. No, like I said, this is personal.
This is multiple pages here.
He is admitted to certain crimes that this just became evidence.
That makes sense why HR Daddy's on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is. You got a chance to peruse the resume. Is this like this is all?
I don't like anything that highlights just what I haven't accomplished in this world, so I immediately put it down.
Well, I'm just going to go over the
makes me feel less than
the work experience here. 3M Canada, Chapters Indigo Books, Telford Investments, and the Alberta Solicitor General and Public Security, Edmonton Young Offender Center. This is a wide. Well, it goes on. Discount car and truck rentals, video station in St. Albert, Sparta Water Systems, a good education,
Video station might
Athabasca
be
University.
the only relevant work experience there.
I don't know what any of this means.
I would like to work at Chapters.
Yeah.
I think that'd be lovely at Chapters.
You wouldn't mind that, eh?
I think it'd be wonderful.
You don't
to
do
work
anything.
around
Like,
books.
got a computer there. You look it
Especially
all up.
like on a morning today. Like you've spent half your time just fantasizing about maybe today's the day. I drop off the application. I just go work in a bookstore. Right?
Actually, you know what's funny is we had yesterday we were doing 3 questions too many. Yesterday it was National Candy Day, but it was also Job Action Day.
Yeah.
And I was debating which one. The other question I was gonna ask the boys, you and Trev yesterday was, if you could do anything in your life, but one like not broadcast, what job would you go do?
Like professionally, like you could be, if
Like
you
to
could
earn
be
a living.
paid, if you could be paid money to do anything.
And I guess outside of like pro sports, because obviously we'd want to do that. And I won't lie, one thing I've gone into watching TikTok, I think, and I just told my parents this on this weekend, I think I would love being a pool cleaner in Arizona. Watching some of those videos of them cleaning that up and vacuuming up everything. You're outside all day.
You're a damaged person.
No, he's not. He's looking for love, baby. That's how all the good pornos start, right?
I was going to say, like what what divorcee or unfulfilled 50-year-old are you?
You throw in some podcasts and you just go
podcasts.
We have a lot of young men who listen right now.
Sure.
If you have a mother who could use some companionship. Sounds like just drop us a line, send it on through to Matthew One.
I need you.
Do you have both a pool that needs to be cleaned?
It doesn't matter.
And some pipes.
Anything to be cleaned. Yeah,
but
pipes.
then also goes, but to this, not going it that way for you guys. I think a booking at a bookstore would be lovely, or a record store.
Yeah,
record store would be sweet.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like a standalone, independently owned.
Independent. There's one not too far from Record Paradise or something like that, which is very close.
Listen
here.
records down.
Love to go work in that spot.
Mediator. That's all I would want to do.
A mediator.
Yeah.
For what particular, like just
any sort
anything.
of like small claims mediation.
The smaller the better.
Small claims mediation. Yeah. The lower. The
Yeah. I really want to muck it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like I want people who are emotionally invested, but not financially. Like I want to determine who gets the dog after the breakup. That's
God,
what
you would
like.
love. That's you playing God, hey? In that sense, yeah, you'd be all over that.
Yeah. I want to play King Solomon in people's lives. Yeah. Well, let's cut the baby in half.
I'm still back to this pool cleaning though.
I
need you to do this.
Watching the TikTok videos, it seems very fun.
And there's
pouring all the salt in there,
especially
and
on a day like today when you've been dealing with Nathan, who is not giving you the answers you've requested.
No.
Well, he's going to personally keep me updated.
I can see how you would. The mind would start to wander. It would drift. You would imagine.
Yeah.
Maybe today's the day. I just
want to check the pH level.
Just gonna go put in that application.
Throw in some
with,
extra salt.
with
Throw in some of
clean.
these discs that there is there. Grab the robot vacuum. Do some cleaning.
Got your flip flops on.
Oh, being in the sun.
Rip City Step says Tommy knows where the pools are in Arizona.
Oh yeah,
he might have a few contacts.
I bet he does.
I bet you could via him probably land a sweet gig.
If there's anyone who's made money doing that,
that'd be a
it
hot
would
gig
be
over in
Tommy
Arizona.
Gazzola. Yeah.
Maddie would slay those naughty housewives that need a handyman around the home! Exclamation point from Jason Summers. I just think that it's you would at this stage of your life. You always told me about stages of life and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That right now, him doing that down there in the Arizona heat, cleaning pools, taking care of himself.
Yeah. Scott,
other people taking care.
There's a financial guru, marketing genius who also has a podcast called Scott Galloway. And he talks about his old Scottish father who spent his, from age 55 to 70 working for cruise ship lines because he could dance. And so cruise ship lines literally hired him on.
I knew a guy that did that.
Hired him on to just dance with single older ladies. To just take them out onto the dance floor and show them a good time.
It doesn't have to be sexual. Get your minds out of the gutter. We're not it's just
literally he enjoyed social dance.
Yeah.
And could cut a rug and just had a career of going on there and just spinning the ladies around.
The people you would meet in the households that you would kind of get into, in terms of those yards and the people. This isn't just run of the mill.
You're not even meeting some of the times.
Some of them are gone.
You're not even meeting those people because you're outside. You don't have to go ring their door or anything.
Well, they could be.
You're just going right into the backyard, doing your thing, and leaving.
Could be like a rental or something.
The amount of grandmas who would be making him lunch, you would never.
You'd
go
eat
hungry.
for free.
Yeah, you would. Yeah.
Home cooked meals.
Yeah, you've got that face that a grandma would be like, just stick around. I made some tomato soup.
The amount of podcasts I'd be able to crush.
That's all you're thinking about. It's all podcasts.
Yeah,
I love it.
That's all. There's just it'd be the sun.
Yeah,
being out in the sun would be wonderful.
Could you handle the rattlesnakes though? Could you handle the? Yeah,
no, I'd have to be very careful of the rattlesnakes.
Yeah.
I couldn't have 2 AirPods in. I'd only
Yeah,
get
that's
a
right.
one,
Yeah.
because I gotta
need to be able to
listening.
hear the
Keep that
rattles.
neck on a swivel.
Yeah. As you get close to the bush, you'd have to know, what am I dealing with? We got Black Widow in there. We got some rattlesnake. I need to know.
Andrew says companionship is important. Bronco Nick says, and Maddie, you might also, this could be maybe a close second, I would work at a golf course. Would that also be something that you would?
I would have always loved to, but I don't know what I would be able to do there now. I can't do early mornings.
Don't try and get a job at the thing that you love as a recreation. That's
too close to it, eh?
Yeah.
No, I think I would enjoy working at a golf course.
Like I loved listening to radio, and then I worked in it.
No,
You want to know something? There are certain radio
close to the
stations you
sun.
should listen to still.
Yeah,
that bring you back.
All right.
We know. We've talked about this.
CJSR.
CKUA.
Wonderful. CKUA.
CKUA.
They're two amazing stations that bring you
Absolutely,
back to what radio was.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Still survives. Still goes on there. And we love them for that.
Go choose for me.
780-218-9999 is the number to text. Once again, come hard after that text of the day. We're looking for Connor McDavid, secret potions, amulets, topical creams. You said yogurt, the Greek yogurt. Maybe he's just eating the probiotic.
He has so much probiotic. He has eaten nothing but sauerkraut, Greek yogurt, and
black olives,
and just guzzling the kombucha.
Yeah. Careful when you open it up. They'll explode all over the place.
There's some pressure there.
He gets hurt again.
Yeah.
Fractured face out indefinitely. Joining Dustin Nielsen, who is out.
His sourdough starter went crazy.
Sourdough starter. Lauren's sourdough starter. Yeah. I knew this would come in handy. My brother Lucas texts in, garbage man.
Yeah. I had a friend who did that. Like,
I don't think that would be that bad. You get used to the smell.
And a brilliant friend. Like, it's not like Garbage Man was the best. Like, no, they're like college graduate, worked on his master's. Like,
you got to operate heavy machinery. You have to.
And found Garbage Man, and it was just kind of like, pays well. It's
Sure.
a great way to spend a day. Like, and crush the podcasts, as Maddie says.
Podcasts.
Yeah.
Any job that's podcastable now that you can kind of.
Well, it's just you don't have to. It's just you're by yourself and you can just listen to other things.
Yeah.
You did that for a time too when you were. What are you delivering of the
I was
auto
delivering
parts?
auto parts, yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I think I like consumed about 7 hours of podcasts every day.
Yeah.
And audiobooks. Like
And,
the amount of
Yeah.
reading I did then was incredible. Yeah.
7:59. We're going to get into the third hour of the Nielsen Show. Sans Dustin Nielsen, of course. Wil Fraser in for him. Lieutenant Eric and Maddie.
Speak English.
Well, what Pig Latin? Is that what it is? Hey, because or without sans
isn't sans like Latin? I believe that's Latin.
That's not Pig Latin. That's like high and low German.
That's real Latin.
Dustin Nielsen not here today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Dumb it down for the listenership is what you're saying.
Yeah, not with us.
No longer with us.
Oh, see, that sounds dark.
That's too much.
Might be
I've gone
accurate,
too far.
but sounds dark.
Yeah. Listen, I said day-to-day last week. What's the official status now? Out indefinitely? What we had the.
I went with out indefinitely, or I know I said he was out until further notice.
Until further notice. I don't know which sounds worse. Indefinitely.
Upper body injury.
His response. He told me he was out until further notice. Yeah, so out until further notice.
Easy E says sports talk host feels slightly out of reach.
Wow.
For them.
For them. Oh, yeah. They said
there's
maybe
a
the future in garbage
for me.
collector. My bad. I read that wrong. Look, okay. We'll. That was the fan zone for fans first. Fan zone. Fans first. By fans for fans. No fees. Check them out. Fansfirst.ca for all of your Oilers tickets all season long.
Fan zone.
We do need a contestant now for kind of easy trivia. Will has cobbled together a great list of questions
How
here.
many do you think that somebody's going to get right? We did that yesterday.
Really?
I guess that
you haven't read them yet, though.
No,
so
but I just looked at them and
Did they get 3 out of 5?
They hit 3 out of 5. I said 3 out of 5, and the guy got because he got the fourth after the buzzer.
That's right. Yeah.
After the buzzer.
We gave him 3.5.
And we
out
knew
of 5.
exactly I knew exactly which one he was going to
They're
stumble
a little
on.
wordy. Yeah. It takes a while, but you got the long ticker there.
You're going to need the long ticker.
We played the short ticker yesterday.
Oh, okay. I think.
Like when you,
I think 4 out of 5.
You think that's going to be 4 out of 5?
Yeah, I think the last one might throw them a bit in terms of how long.
And it's wordy. Like, I don't even know if we're going to be able to get it in.
Yeah, that's true, too. Yeah, I'll say 4. Place your bets now. Mr. Lean.
I got to read it after to place my bet.
Yeah. 780-218-9999. If you do want to play, text in Maddie, I want to play. He'll select one of you. We'll bring you on, and you'll be playing for $25 to Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual. 3 questions to me as well for the staff at Park Mazda. I usually like when Dusty's away. If you have any questions for Matt or Will specifically or myself, ask away. Get those in 780-218-9999 or in the nasty chat on YouTube as well. That chat is humming along, and I love to see it. If you are on there, hit the sub, hit the thumbs up. We'd greatly appreciate it. That hurts for James H. Brown Injury Lawyers and Walking Gage, all on the way in hour number 3. Let's get to a sports update right now. Matthew Iwanek has it for Clayburn Services. This is The Nielsen Show, EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Oilers were shut out yesterday by the New Jersey Devils 3-0 down at Rogers Place. Next up for the Oilers, they're in action Wednesday as they host the Golden Knights. Only one other game yesterday. The Kings blanked the Predators 3-0. Monday nighter in the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs needed overtime but remained undefeated as they beat the Bucs 30-24. It is trade deadline day in the National Football League. A trade to report. The Cleveland Browns are sending edge rusher Zadarius Smith to the Detroit Lions along with a 2026 7th-round pick, then in exchange for a 2025 5th-round pick and a 2026 6th-round pick. Toronto Raptors, they dropped a close one to the Nuggets, 121-119, falling to 2-6 early in their season. Elsewhere, the Clippers came back from down 26 to claim their first win into a dome, and the Suns beat the 76ers 118-116. The CSD Sports Update is brought to you by Clayburn Services. They're hiring all positions, including journeymen, bricklayers, and apprentices of all levels. Take advantage of their outstanding mentorship program and work with peace of mind knowing they're an industry leader in safety. Visit ClayBurnServices.com and make it easy and give Jeff a call, 780-910-6728. Up next, we continue on The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric and Wil Fraser. I'm Matt Iwanek. You're up to date.
The Nielsen Show featuring Lieutenant Eric. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
8:04. You are tuned into the Nielson Show, EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Nice to have you. Once again, streaming on the iHeart, the TuneIn Radio app, and up at our website. Once again, if you are on the website this morning, pop by the EST shop. It is a pop-up shop. It won't be around long, so if you got any ideas, a special someone in your life just for regular gift buying or the Christmas season slowly approaching, head up there and get your order in now. You will receive it by the Christmas season. And again, the pop-up shop is only around for a limited time, so don't wait. Don't. Maddie loves it when a week after the thing closes and, hey, can I get a hat? Hey, can I do it now? Just do it now. Take out a loan, whatever you got to do. Get to the EST pop-up shop today and peruse and buy something for that special someone in your life. Nasty Chat's coming along as well. If you are on YouTube, pound that thumbs up. We are slowly approaching changing 200, and hit the sub as well. Our pursuit of 10.5K continues. Wil Fraser, Lieutenant Eric, Matt Iwanek as well, manning the monitors this morning. It was nice getting into that fan zone and the occupation kind of discussion after this resume was sent in.
Yeah. You love to daydream about this.
That garbage man talk was kind of neat because I mentioned too, and my brother-in-law is an undertaker type of thing. Yeah, it's one of the garbage ain't going anywhere. Yeah, in fact, we're throwing out more things than ever before. Probably
recession-proof jobs. There's a real sort of like never having to worry about, well, what if this ends? What if this dries up? Like it's the exact opposite to anyone who worked in radio.
Well, and I think that's like I enjoy what I do and I love doing this, but there was always that you'd go home
there's a sword of Damocles that
all
dangles
the
above
time.
Your head.
The guillotine is slowly just.
I remember telling my wife that early when I started on it, and things were going well, and we were out for once again one of our walks.
Yep.
And I looked at her and I was like, I think you need to understand that when this ends, it just ends. And she was like, what do you mean? I was like there's no warning. Like it just they old yeller you, man. Like they just kind of
it's tough to live your life like that.
And she goes, I can't imagine living with that kind of stress. I'm like, it's fine. Like you make peace with it.
Yes,
but
yeah.
It's not great. Like it's I mean, when you talk to the lifers in our industry, there's not a lot of good stories, right? There's just multiple divorces.
You almost, the longevity is almost a curse too.
Estranged children.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. It's never good. Either way, you're right. Actually getting out when you do. A brief moment in time.
Yes.
Okay, good. Here we go. And let me go.
But the guys with like the 30-year career, you're like, that's not a happy life.
Yeah, no. Well, you know as well, the Nielsen Show presented as always by Southport Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot. Go see the great staff at Daniel and Claire and the team out in Fort Saskatchewan. Or for more information, www.southportchev.com. And the Nielsen Show coming to you live from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen studio. Maddie, did we wrangle somebody up for kind
Chris is on the line.
Chris with a CH?
Or a K?
CH.
CH, Chris, how you doing, man? Welcome to the show.
I'm good. How are you guys this morning?
Can't complain. Will?
Fantastic. Are you out on the roads right now, Chris?
Yep.
How are they?
They're fine.
Are they?
Wet.
Okay. Good.
City driver, hey?
Yeah. No, I'm glad.
Yeah. Have you played trivia before, Chris?
No, I haven't.
Oh, this is interesting. Well, we will let you know then. You're playing for Mr. Mike's. Once again, $25 to Mr. Mike's is on the line. You are invited to Mr. Mike's Fiesta Fusion, Chris, if you do win. Celebrate the flavors of the new Mexican and Spanish-inspired features, the Patatas Bravas, the Fusion Feast Platter, the Chili Lime Ribeye, feature drinks, and more. Plus, Chris, $1 from every feature entree sold will help nourish a hungry child through a local breakfast program in this community. Join the Fiesta Fusion at your local Mr. Mike's. Eat locally, enjoy casually. Chris, how it's going to go? Will has 5 questions here. You need at least 3 out of 5 in order to secure that GC. We will start the ticker after I read the first question. Are you good to go?
Yep.
Chris, how many goals did the Oilers score last night?
0.
Name an Oiler not in the lineup last night.
Connor McDavid.
Name an Oiler in the lineup last night.
Zach Hyman.
Which NFL team won the Monday Nighter to remain undefeated?
Chiefs.
Over under 5.5 for the number of shows Nielsen has missed in a row.
Under. Oh, over. Wait.
Yeah, see?
No!
My God. Damn it, Shake, stop it!
They are going to remember that AM radio is a viable and modern source for news and entertainment.
Totally.
People don't listen to AM like they used to. Seems like it's more about FM and color TV.
That's stupid.
It sure is, Kevin.
I'm stoked. You stoked?
I'm stoked.
Just
I'm
so stoked.
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
Cannot come to my house. No, not today.
Hey, were you giggling at the club beat breathing?
No,
no, just everything.
The hot rod clip always makes me laugh.
Yeah,
especially
like
it's stupid. It is, Kevin.
Chris with the CH is off to Mr. He's going to Mr. Mike's steakhouse schedule. Chris, you can pop by the station here. We'll text you the details
done.
And
Got
enjoy.
It. 3 out of 3 right off the get-go. It was all gravy.
You knew it
after
was,
that. It was all gravy.
Under, over, sure.
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah.
No, it's over, folks. It is way over.
Oh, it is over indeed. Lieutenant Eric, Wil Fraser in for Dustin Nielson and Matthew Iwanek here on the Nielson Show. 8:09. Congratulations to Chris. 3 questions too many right now for the fine staff at Park Mazda, where Mitch Lewicki always wanted to be a garbage man himself, but he's too damn handsome for the job. Park Mazda, your dealer for life.
That's a risky. That's a risky liner right there.
Well, no, and this is an offense to any current garbage men or people out there, garbage women. I mean, it's a full
calling into the looks of an industry.
No, I think for Mitch though, they said, hey, he applied, and they said, listen, sir,
not you, pretty boy.
Well, they said, sir, look, you may want to take this and do
your
something.
Hollywood looks and hit the street.
Not in a bad way, but saying to him, hey, kid, you got a lot of that hair, you got a lot of going for you here.
This ain't for you, son.
This isn't, go do something with your life.
The
you don't
garbage
see that
industry
mug.
is for the uggos.
Yeah. All right. Kind of walked into that one, didn't I?
Yeah.
Whatever. I love garbage people.
Yeah.
And I said off air.
Even the handsome ones. I'll never tell you you're too good looking for this.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life. Check him out today, parkmazda.ca. Go tell Mitch how good looking he is.
Yeah.
He's good. You've seen the guy. Great hair. Yeah. I'm just saying it's kind of wasted sitting behind the wheel of a truck all day long, right? No?
Pretty boy. Your powers are needed elsewhere.
Pretty boy. What kind of room for you? And then they all look at him as he leaves, all the guys scowling. Yeah.
Come back with an eye patch.
But I want to be a garbage man. Check out parkmazda.ca today. We go around the horn. We usually say social media accounts. Once again, just to clarify, you aren't on any form of social media. Instagram. No. You were on the gram at one point. Were you not?
No, not intentionally. Like, as I've said many times, I'm like, if you are currently conversing with, sharing information with a Wil Fraser online, it's not me. So I don't know what relationship you're having with a kid from Korea, but it is not authentic.
Well, we still add you on all the tweets at Wil Fraser 4 and the number 4 higher.
Those are going to a communist regime for sure. Yeah.
You still have the Pierre Turgeon lighting the ice on fire.
Sure.
Tweet. You were doing some stuff for Airbnb. I found an awesome Airbnb vacation home in Chemainus.
Yeah.
Chemainus?
I have no idea what that is.
Oh, really? Yeah. So it has lost you. I kind of like this.
And it's pronounced Chemainus.
Sure. You did tweet April 30th, 2017, #Connor looks hurt.
Yeah, that was probably the last time. 2017. I was still a working member of the media then.
Your Twitter account is a fascinating follow.
I hate it.
Still, even though it's not updated.
What a cesspool.
Again, it's at Wil Fraser. Well, especially today. I mean, probably not much is going on in the social media realm.
I can't imagine social media is anything but an absolute paradise on a day like today.
Absolutely. So get on there. Try to follow Wil if you can find him. And I swear you had an Instagram account at one point in time.
Great.
It was just pictures of me.
It.
You was just taking pictures of me. Remember at the brew house and everything?
Yeah, no, that tracks.
The muse, right?
Because my bosses were like, you need to be more active.
Sure,
on social media.
So you're like, I'll do it.
So I, of course, approached that with the professionalism I approach all things.
Fraser TSN 1260.
There you go.
And said, yep, let's just do shots of Lieutenant Eric, my muse.
Yeah, there it is. So once again, follow Wil on Twitter at Wil with 1L, Fraser 4 higher, and that's the number 4. Or on Instagram at Fraser TSN 1260.
Yeah, sure.
Nice to know you kept the same handle as Dustin has for his Twitter account. It looks really good up there on the CFL broadcast. Dudley says #waste service solidarity.
Yeah.
Look, I'll be part of the club. I'm all for you. I'd love to join.
Yeah.
I could probably.
He tried, but they insisted that he cut his sideburns.
I'd shave my head to do that job. I would actually, if there's a way, you could probably get like part-time duty. I could do this show.
I'm sure that's how they start. Yeah.
I could do this show and then I could go.
Like you just be a fill-in, right? Yeah.
Actually, you know what?
For like when your coworker misses 7 straight days due to an illness.
Dave Jameson as a reference.
Honestly,
him getting a phone call a random day.
This is not a bit at all. You tell me a job where having Dave Jameson as one of your references, like where it's not enhanced. What job are you applying for where they look at your resume, see Dave Jameson as one of your references, and they don't kind of give you a little bump for that?
For anything.
Anything.
Guy's connected, baby. So once again,
and a true judge of character and talent.
Yep. Follow Will on all the social media platforms. He's on there. It's just a nice walk back. It's a nice walk back in time. You're not getting anything update.
If you are sick and tired of your phone dinging with a bunch of updates that so-and-so has posted something, follow Wil Fraser and you will not be bothered.
Question number 1. And this is 2 hours ago. This little blurb came out. Buccaneers head coach Todd Bowles is coaching the Bucs in their loss overtime last night to the Chiefs. He defended his decision to kick an extra point rather than try a 2-pointer to take the lead after the Bucs scored a touchdown with 30 seconds remaining. Would you be the type of head coach that put in those positions? We always talk about the conservatism of football coaches and always leaning back on a tried, tested method, never going. Would you last night, if you were in Todd Bowles' cap, gone for 2 in Arrowhead for the win?
Never.
What are you talking about? They were 4-4.
Yeah.
Nobody expects anything in the Bucs. That's the wrong answer. Come on.
No, listen. You are successful. You get to that level by making conservative calls, and
I just think football needs a bit more.
Listen.
Both the Canadian game and the national game.
You were asking me if I'm Todd Bowles, what do I do?
Okay.
If I am the fan looking for entertainment.
If you're Wil Fraser coaching.
Yeah.
You're down there at the
like if I just want to be an agent of chaos, I never punt. Right? Like
yeah, but you do if you need 10 yards. But in that moment, 30 seconds left, you have no business even taking them to this. Why not try for it?
I'm quite serious. If I was a head coach, that is the first thing I would do is eliminate my kicking game.
Maddie, did Todd Bowles make the correct decision in going for the extra point? They ultimately lost the game anyways.
I would like to think that I'd be a coach that would go for that.
I know, right?
We'd all like to think that. But we don't have the lights on us, the spotlight on us.
You are a cripplingly serious person. There's no chance you would have gone for 2.
I understand why you'd want to.
Yes.
I think I would go for it in that moment. I've seen my coach of my Baltimore Ravens attempt those type of plays, and 75% of the time I love it. 25% of the time I'm going, what are you doing?
What are you doing? Exactly.
But I think any of us that were in this spot with the headset on would struggle to make that call.
Yeah.
Because the pressure's on.
No, like once again, if
I think you make that your signature,
Will Fraser,
aggressiveness. If I'm going for a punt with 3rd and 10 or 4th and 10, I get it.
I think a lot of us would like the idea that we'd be aggressive. We'd be the guys that would go for it, for gals that would go for it on 4th and 2, 4th and 3 all the time. We would go for 2-point conversions all the time. We would do those. We'd be the aggressive coaches. But how come that hasn't gone into the NFL? Because we're not in the spotlight. Our jobs aren't on the line at that point.
But
it's
I think
different when it's the. I'll relate it to this before you jump in. Sorry.
Yeah.
I do a practice swing in golf. It feels great. Like I get this. I could do 10 straight practice swings and be like, this feels great. And then when I actually set up with the ball and the next swing I'm going to have is going to hit that ball, there's that little extra pressure that goes into you because you're like, I can't screw this up.
Sure.
And it's never as perfect as those practice swings. So we sit there and say we want to be those 2 points, but once the lights are on and the pressure's on.
I get that.
It's interesting you feel this way about this subject matter, but yet you're a Yankees fan who hates Aaron Boone.
He just makes all the wrong decisions.
Right,
the wrong decision.
Right?
Okay,
like this is the kind of logic that has you still pitching to Freddie
But I'm talking decision making in this particular moment. And the nasty chat's kind of coming to. I couldn't believe it didn't go for it. Duck says, you have the game in your hand and ability instead of letting a coin flip decide. And that's what I'm saying. It's 30 seconds left. You're 4-4. You're looking to hand the Chiefs their first loss at Arrowhead. Maybe in that specific situation. I mean, come on. I think even as ownership or management, I'd be like, okay, you know what? You were in a moment and you tried for it. Not on every down you're going for 10 yards.
It is a defendable call. I'll say that.
Because the coin flip, again, you ultimately lost the game and you didn't have a chance to win it.
It is a defendable call if it doesn't work out and you lose. You are able to stand at a podium and explain the decision making.
We didn't want to leave it up for the coin, and you.
I hate the idea that it's just, you got to play defense. I hate the idea that overtime is it's a coin toss. You go win, go play defense, go make a stop, and if you don't get them score a touchdown, you get the ball back now when you get a chance to tie it. So, like, it's not a coin flip. So, like, it's not like the old overtime rules here. So you still have every chance to go win that football game. I understand why Todd Bowles would go for it. And I think, like, anyone that wants to just sit there and say outright that they would do it, I think that when the lights are on, it's different. It's different when the pressure is there. And that's where I understand why Todd Bowles would do it. Like I said, I would like to think I would go for 2 in that situation. But I also understand why you don't go for that. And I would say out of 32 coaches in this league, I'd say I feel comfortable saying 28 would not go for that.
For sure.
The majority of NFL coaches would not go for that. And the thing is, the reality is, those coaches know a lot more than any of us about what it takes to coach a football game.
Duck Dad says, immediately go for 2. I'm not letting my offense that just ran the field sit so that a coin flip decides the game.
Okay.
And that's where I'm kind of going from there. They had a great drive.
Sure.
All you needed was to get that puppy right back in the end zone from a couple yards out.
I remember a college football game one year where a team was down. It was a bowl game, Christmas Eve. A team was down 35 points.
The Meineke Car Care Bowl?
No, this is the Bahamas Bowl, I believe it was.
Okay.
It had Middle Tennessee and somebody else, I forgot. A team was down 35 points going to the fourth quarter. They came back and they would have tied it with an extra point after like the hooks and lateral play. And they went for 2. And they didn't get it and they lost. And it was like, well, you made this comeback for no point. And it was
in a bowl game, though.
But you had that's for the win. You had this momentum. And to me, it was take that into overtime. The other teams on their back heels. I think if your offense is going well, you should be fine. That go get a defensive stop. Yeah. It's not like the Chiefs put up 50 points on you through fourth quarters. You've made stops. Go get another stop. I like that Todd Bowles to me is saying he believes in his defense.
It's an interesting debate. It's an interesting question. If you want to chime in, nasty chat or 780-218-9999. Wheel says the ruse should be put into the NFL. I think he's talking rouge, but I don't mind the voice to text.
Why not?
It's all a ruse, right?
Yeah.
Question number 2. It's National Donut Day, boys. Favorite donut? And don't give me a cruller or a honey, like just donuts. Like, donuts.
Listen, the truth is, any donut, like it when you've committed yourself to not partaking. It's really like any donut that is put in front of you. You're just kind of like yes, more of that.
Please. Is it a taste or a visual? Because the donut, I think, is such a visual food that you it can look more delicious than it tastes.
Here's the other thing: like, who's making the donut?
Well, that's
like, are we talking Safeway's Bakery? Because then it's like honey glaze, man. No one does it better.
Let's say your generic mom and pop shop or something, like like that type of thing.
Then you got to play for the averages, right? Like if you don't already know they do this better than anyone else, then you just got to play the averages, and you're looking for Boston cream. Am I crazy?
I love a Boston cream. Yeah. I love a cream filled.
Yeah, it's kind of like the pizza of donuts in that even when it's bad, it's still pretty good.
Well, in the whole, I think you're kind of getting ripped off. Like you don't. That's the most donuts you can possibly get with a filling inside.
I see. Yeah,
you've got it all.
Yeah,
I mean,
for the same price,
bang for your buck. Yeah, I mean, Matthew, do you have any sort of you would weigh in here anywhere?
I hate this. It's what I don't like. I like so many donuts and whatever. Like we got the combines brought.
Yes,
the box
from
of
Italian
donuts on Friday. The Italians. I don't want to make when a box comes in. I don't want to make the first choice. There's so many to choose from, and I want to eat them all type thing. So it's like I want the choice to be taken for me because I will be happy no matter what in the end.
But it does depend on where it's coming from, though, right?
That's a fair point.
Like if
it's from Timmy's,
well, you can put anything on a donut.
You want a sprinkle.
Boston cream.
You can put anything on a donut.
No, for me with Timmy's, I
could do an old
anything
fashioned.
with a sprinkle.
Old fashioned, a cup of coffee.
The sour
That's
cream
what it
glaze.
is. It's the cop combo. That's what I love.
Yeah.
Sour glaze,
But you don't want just a honey glaze from Tim's. Too dry.
No, I want the old fashioned plain.
Oh, you want the cake? You want
cake
the cake
donut?
one?
Yeah, that is delicious.
Although Gager was clutch on Friday, we have like one of these cutters that is for cookies to cut it into quarters.
Okay.
And he brought that out for the donuts, and he would cut them in quarters. So we all got to try different donuts instead of eating.
Yeah.
So it's like one donut. You had 4 different donuts in one.
I was at a wedding a couple of years back, and instead of a wedding cake, they hired donut party.
Yes.
And it was the greatest night of my life.
It's crazy what you can do with a donut these days, right?
So they brought out like the table of donuts, and so it was kind of what Maddie was saying. As responsible wedding guests, all 8 of us at our table went up and got a different donut, came back to the table, and we kind of all cut them up so that everyone could try
that's
a
very good.
sample of the different
Great
donut.
idea.
And we were happy. We were content. We were like, this is great. As the evening progresses and we're all hitting the dance floor, I walk by that donut table and they are refilling it. They are constantly just bringing out more and more fresh donuts.
Of the same styles or
Of
different
everything.
ones?
Of everything. Like I said, it was the greatest donut night of my... I had like at least a baker's dozen donuts just by myself. I was full of dough. I was on the dance floor.
He's a
full of
doughy
dough.
boy.
Yeah, full of dough and just having the night of my life. And then... speaking of great weddings, if you are planning a wedding, first of all, donut party instead of wedding cake, and then midnight lunch, fried chicken.
I will humbly serve that bowl back over the net, to which we did at our wedding, Italian center, with the panino sandwiches sliced very thin, and you could also get the donuts
for the midnight lunch.
For the midnight lunch, I mean
that's so good.
Hit out of the park. Changing 200 on the YouTube, we love to see that. Thank you, Dave.
Is there anything better than the midnight lunch? At a real ripper of a party.
And if they're doing it right. Thank you, Maddie. Look, everybody's playing along with this one. It really gets people off of their seat. The Long John used to be my favorite. Props to the Long John. I'll go down on a Long John donut, with just standard icing or whatever. None of that coconut crap. You can get that out of there.
Whoa.
I don't
What's
like
the race? Take your time.
The coconut's just. Who else said? Todd Gack says, I get mocked at work with an old-fashioned donut. You shouldn't. It's a great choice. It's not as sexy. I get it. I also don't mind the Homer Simpson. Whenever you see pink frosting on a donut,
I agree.
There is a
that's
psychological.
What I was saying about the Timmies.
They just
to
look
me
so good.
Like
it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pizza with the cheese. Morinville Steb says, "Hey, I did the Italian sandwiches from my wedding as well. It was the best."
That's good.
Returns tomorrow here on a Wednesday edition of the Nielson Show. Question number 3, and I'm sure you boys got to this yesterday at some form or fashion. Which 2 teams will meet in the Grey Cup in Vancouver, British Columbia?
I think we both agreed it's going to be Winnipeg and Toronto.
No, I'm going with Saskatchewan strictly because prior to the playoffs a couple of weeks ago, I said whoever wins the East Semi. I didn't know who's going to be in the East Semi. Whoever wins, it's going to go to the Grey Cup.
Whoever wins
or in the West Semi,
sorry,
West Semi. The West Semi.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, my mistake. Whoever wins the West Semi was going to go to the Grey Cup, and that was before we didn't. That was before like going into the final weekend of the season.
And you won't allow
I will
new evidence to change your opinion.
He's sticking by his guts.
I believe
I won't allow my eyes. I won't allow anyone else to change my opinion on this.
So what has changed in that time was the Saskatchewan Roughriders beat the BC Lions in a pretty convincing fashion with a strong defense.
Sure.
Why would that change my mind?
Because they didn't beat the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Sure.
Well, they did earlier in the season.
Yeah.
Like that, that's the new evidence. So that like that's old evidence then. So I stuck with it.
It's the CFL playoffs. Crazy things can happen.
Absolutely.
Weather can become a factor.
Go to 5 straight.
There's
Grey
no
Cups.
such thing as a guaranteed, but it's hard.
The
to
weather looks fine.
You're just going with the favorites.
Winnipeg in Winnipeg.
Saturday looks like Winnipeg 13 with a mix of sun and cloud.
Yeah.
So maybe wind, but no precipitation. So you're going,
Toronto,
Saskatchewan, and you're going with Montreal, Winnipeg.
No. Winnipeg,
Toronto.
Winnipeg, Toronto. Yeah.
So no love for the Alouettes in here, eh?
Did you see what that Toronto offense looks like?
But Ottawa, and I'll say this too, maybe a question 3B here. Should the Red Blacks retain Bobby Dice? I think that choice, that squib kick thing that he did to conclude the first half, that sent them on a mental spiral. I just don't see him. What is it about special teams coordinators becoming head coaches and not necessarily succeeding in that role? I just don't get it. It seems to be a bit of a theme. And again, Ottawa did a lot of good things this year, but I'm just not sold on the whole Bobby Dice head coach experiment in Ottawa. Prove me wrong, I guess, Mr. Dice.
He has not.
He hasn't yet.
He has not
and he
proved
still
you
hasn't.
wrong.
Improved season. Went from a trash team last year to a playoff team this year. You're not making a coaching change there.
No, I get
You're sticking
that,
with
but
consistency.
I just don't agree with that call, and it kind of, I don't know, sent them on a bit of a spiral, in my humble opinion. But
Montreal, I went through the schedule yesterday since that White Rider win when Brett Lauther
in
missed,
Regina.
when Brett Lauther missed like $50 million.
They've not
been a
had a
cruise
good
control.
second season.
They did their work when the sun was up.
They barely beat Edmonton, and then beyond that, they beat Ottawa. That's it. They haven't. They tied Calgary, lost to BC twice, lost to Toronto twice. They have not looked good.
Yep.
And Toronto is the flip side. So to me, there's also going to be the revenge of last year where the Argos were supposed to go to the Grey Cup.
Yeah.
Als came in, defense beat them down. I think it's going to be a reverse this year.
They got those horns in Montreal, though. Hey, that'll be hard for them to operate that Argonaut offense with those. I don't know why they're allowed to do that. There should be
for the fans' sake. I hope it's Toronto and Winnipeg. I want to see the two best teams go head to head.
Yeah, sure.
Listen,
you want
Rough
entertainment.
Rider fan is always going to want Rough Riders there, but like,
nah, screw Winnipeg. They've been there 4 straight times.
We're already dealing with Jets fan, man. What are you trying to bury us?
We have to be nice to Winnipeg.
on!
We have to be nice to Winnipeg.
Maddie!
It's
They've had
Saskatchewan
4
Railroad.
straight Grey Cups.
Maddie.
4 straight appearances. Sorry, Matt. Sorry, Dean. Deal with it. You got there 4 straight times.
Wow.
It's time for someone else.
Wow.
It's time
He
for
does
someone
not
else.
speak for the organization. He definitely does not speak for Dustin Nielson, who
He loves
Hey,
Winnipeg.
Dusty's
loves
off.
it.
I speak for the company now.
Oh my God.
Edmonton Sports Talk here.
He's out of control. We got to get Maddie back on track here with a sports update. We're going to move that Hurts. We'll have Walking Gage coming back. We'll have that Hurts just ahead of the wrap. We'll kind of sandwich them all in a nice tight final half of the third hour of the Nielson show here. Got to stop that. Lieutenant Eric, Wil Fraser, and for Dustin Nielsen. Matthew Iwanek here. He'll have a sports update for Sit and Sleep. This is the Nielsen show. Walking Gage on the way for EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
To Matt Hyman, I'm the way I am because somebody's got to defend Edmonton here. Love you, Matt Hyman. Edmonton Oilers, they shut out the New Jersey Devils 3-0 last night. Down at Rogers Place, Oilers are next in action Wednesday against the Golden Knights. Just one other game in the NHL yesterday. The Kings blanked the Predators by the exact same score, 3-0. Monday nighter, the Chiefs needed overtime but remained undefeated as they beat the Bucks 30-24. The Toronto Raptors in the NBA, they dropped a close one to the Nuggets 121-119, falling to 2-6 early in their season. Elsewhere in the NBA, the Clippers came back from down 26 to claim their first win at Intuit Dome, and the Suns beat the 76ers 118-116. Coming up next, we continue on with the Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric and Wil Fraser. I'm Matt Iwanek. You're up to date.
A baseball bat, a man with a tendency to overreact out of control. Oh, and so it goes. The kid with the promise, with the friends with the tats, hopped in a car now past the scalpel stat 6 feet below. Oh, and so it goes.
At 8:33. The time has changed. My first show back since the daylight. We've saved daylight time.
When did you realize the time had changed?
Oh, driving back from Saskatchewan. That's the whole, because that was the day, and I'm like, gain an hour. Like, yeah, baby.
Oh, okay.
You know,
so
you really
knew heading out that.
Oh,
was
and
the
it's
case.
such a. Yeah, from fall and the spring, obviously, it's two different things. But and then my mom reminds every time I speak to her, it's 8:30 there. It's 9:30 here. Like, it's always bringing up that hour. Like, it's not like I'm across the pond. It's like that's a difference. But it's an hour. But it's always made a point of, even though it's not like highly. I love you, Mom, but it's just a bit of a.
Do they instinctively keep the phone calls short because they still think they're paying like $2 a minute for long distance.
Yep. Well, they don't phone me.
Yeah.
I phone them.
Yeah.
It's better to have it on my bill than theirs.
My wife and I, when we were first dating, there was she was in Red Deer, I was back up here, and so like we would spend like $100 a month on long distance fees. And so I think because of that, she still just instinctively like restricts the amount of like phone calls and reaching out that she'll do to anyone outside of
it's in the DNA
market.
now. It's just
like, I FaceTime with my kid every day in Kamloops, and there's a part of her is like, I can't believe that you see him every day. Like, and I'm like,
this is the modern world,
yeah,
baby.
Like,
we are
tell,
here.
Like, there's a part of her that's like, I'll call him, but I'll do it from work, so it's on their dime. Yep. Like,
Walking Gage in the bullpen. He's slated to join us here momentarily, just as I find
there's a guy who spent a lot on long distance back in the 90s.
Well, and also playing abroad. I mean, I can only imagine racking up those. Those
Latvian long distance phone bills were probably pretty pricey.
Getting through the prompts were probably difficult enough, not to mention the price. Walking Gage will be joining us here. It is the
1111 pound.
Then the number. It's the Nielson Show. We are presented by Southport Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot. Go visit the team, Daniel, Claire, and the rest out at Southport Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan or online www.southportchev.com. We are coming to you live from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen studio. We welcome in Walking Gage here. Hello, Gager. Welcome back to the program. I just want to get into, first off, it was a busy weekend for myself. I was eating up the KMs, traveling across the prairie on the highway. Didn't get a chance, though, to watch the racing over the weekend. I did see a text from you, though. I think it said, and I'm paraphrasing, great day for racing. Can you fill us in on what happened Formula One style from the weekend that was? From Europe.
First, Eric, how do you manage to get on TV all the time?
Look at this face.
At the games.
That's like a silly question. You wouldn't put that on the TV all the time?
Oh, I would. But the uncomfortable eye contact with the camera is like it was like you were peering into my soul. I had to look around and make sure my
I know some
my
guys
room
that
was
cable
clean
down there. if you get it in, you know what I mean? Yeah.
It was good. No, you look great, buddy. You look like a wonderful time. I enjoy seeing you with a smile on your face. That was awesome. Yeah. The race was like no other. Obviously, the conditions, the rain down in Sao Paulo was torrential downpours, and they had to move qualifying to the Sunday. So you had like a super Sunday with qualifying very early in the morning, followed by the race in the early afternoon. So. And it just was crash after crash after crash. I was just watching some
I think the Lance Stroll bit did it for me. Stole the show yet again.
It's unbelievable what this guy can accomplish. And the one that's really funny is him and the fans just cheering as he beaches his car right afterwards. There's a real interesting conversation from George Russell and his pit wall saying. George wanted to stay out, and he goes, there's puddles, it's going to go red, and then Mercedes told him to box, and of course, red flag comes out. He had the advantage on tires, or he would have off the red flag, because then he could change no matter what, and they told him to box, and he was quite mad at that, but overall, it just shows what a great driver Max Verstappen is. I know he's a polarizing figure, but he kind of put a lot of the, the pundits to rest with that performance of what he did going from 17th to first.
Yeah, he needed that one. And again, the circuit picks up again from the Las Vegas Street Circuit, and that'll be later November, the weekend of the 23rd. So we look forward to that. Gager, I know the game last night we'll get to. Everybody wants to get to it. Your thoughts? I kind of mentioned to Button, maybe simple as, a close game against a good team, coming off that back-to-back yet again, in a few errors and a few missed opportunities, and there's your hockey game.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching the boys on the post-game show, and I was reading the nasty chat, and there was a lot of anger. I think there was some trolls in there too that were kind of poking the bear a little bit, but. Quite honest, boys, I found the first period quite enjoyable. I thought that the Edmonton Oilers were had jump. They didn't allow the New Jersey Devils to do much at all. Unfortunately, I mean, of course, we nitpick things to death. A guy comes off the bench, poor recognition in the defensive zone, gets a good scoring opportunity. The PK lets them down again. And just if on the third goal, I believe, sorry, I forget who scored that, but if an Oiler does a play like that, that's one of the best goals that we've seen. Instead of we're looking at the goaltender and hopefully making a save at that point.
Timo Meier.
So Timo Meier, like it was an unreal play, and it happened so quick as a goaltender. I don't think Pickard. Well, I guess if he played it better, he could have stopped it. But the move that Meier was able to do was unbelievable.
We spent the entire pregame yesterday going, this feels like a scheduled loss. They come out, they play relatively strong and don't pick up the win. It was, however, one of those games where special teams sticks out like a sore thumb, which is crazy to say in a game that only had 2 power plays, but it is what's killing this team as far as the difference between picking up points and not picking up points right now, isn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, we've been saying at the start of the season, when it's even in preseason, we were going, what's going to happen with this penalty kill? Because that was I think, aside from the power play that's been historic, I think the play of the penalty kill was the real reason why this team started putting it together and putting it together those 8-win, 16-win winning streaks. Specialty teams lost it for them, but then again, what was it? Rico has 2 chances to put it in, puts it over the net. Hyman puts it over the net. That game to me looked like a New Jersey Devils team that had a lot of fun in Banff, and Allen wasn't allowed to go to the party. They told him to stay in his room and get ready for the game. And it worked, because if one of those goes in the first period, that game completely changes. It's just you're going to get goaltending performances like that. He was a little bit lucky as well, I thought, but overall, I wasn't upset as a 3-0 loss as probably I usually am, if that makes sense.
Going back to special teams too, and from your view, do you lean more on execution, just plain and simple, or is there a coaching aspect as well you'd like to maybe see changed? I know, again, the guys running this stuff are the same. The personnel have changed, albeit slightly, but where do you kind of lean, if in any specific direction?
I'm not too much of an X's and O's guys, Eric. I'm more on feel, but
you're a vibe master,
yeah. It's funny when you watch the head movement of, and this is in the defensive zone more times than not for the Edmonton Oilers, and there is a lot of puck focusing, right? Like they are just zeroed in on that puck. Like the first goal, it's a guy comes off the bench. There's no recognition. Even the PK, it's so puck focused and not realizing where that danger is coming from. All these other points where the New Jersey Devils last night and to games prior, the most dangerous person on the ice is being ignored. Where I think from what you'll hear today on our program is just the lack of communication. And I heard Cass mention it multiple times last night in the post-game show. Just it looks like they're not communicating, like recognizing who's going where. They seem to do it more on the offensive side, but it looks like a team that's just gripping their sticks a little bit too much, right? I thought that we would see a different game on the PK side just because of the way that they were forward checking and working without the puck in the offensive zone. I thought they did a really good job of stopping the New Jersey Devils creating coming out with any sort of speed and things like that. But something has to happen with this penalty kill. And the first thing that I when I watch it and see the execution is it looks like 4 guys that just aren't communicating and that they're just not on the same page.
Could it be as simple as just vibe? Like when the Oilers penalty killer was on, they seemed like anytime there was a chance at a 50-50 play, they took it because they believed that they were going to win that coin flip. And it seems like they are avoiding the 50-50 plays. Like they're not denying the zone entries with the same aggression that they have in the past. And to deny a zone entry, you have to make a judgment, right? You need to either want to jump the line and try and get into basically physically bumping the player, or you're peeling back and trying to wait for the play to come to you. Is it just a lot of it having to do with confidence at this point of believing that you can win that 50-50 play?
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, you go back and watch if the Oilers took a penalty and the PK units that would pop out, it looked like Muhammad Ali on a ring entrance, right? Yeah. They were just like, no problem. Let's eat this thing up. Like, of course, there's a huge confidence thing. But like you said, that they get caught in that 50-50 zone. It's like, oh, am I in the right position? Right. And this can be, again, talked like this guy's here, that guy's there, heads on swivels. When the biggest thing is when one guy commits, right? There's usually two other guys that have to adjust or take away options if the puck does come loose, right? So limiting options. It just, everyone's doing something different, almost seems like. And then the lack of confidence is basically making the Oilers sit back, look at the play and go, oh, I'm in the right position, but there's no reacting to anything. They were very proactive, I would say, in last year's PK. Now, can they find that again? I think it's going to be quite difficult just because of the personnel that they lost. And when you look at the power play, it's not great this year, but it's a bunch of guys that have done it before together for a long period of time.
Yeah.
Then these new guys are going to have to learn how the tendencies of other players. Again, I'm beating this like a dead horse. The communication factor, and just what it comes down to it is 4 guys executing and working harder than 5.
Walking Gage joining us here for Pro-Am Sports. Kevin Van Dasselaar in the Nasty Chat. Oilers were Jake Allen, and you mentioned that as well. And maybe the Devils going with him instead of traditionally a guy like Markstrom was a good decision last night in terms of strategy. I wanted to get your thoughts too. Oilers, of course, I wasn't here yesterday, but picking up a win Sunday against the Flames, Stuart Skinner getting that one. I know, and as you mentioned, there were some trolls out and about last night, perhaps naming Kelvin Pickard. I personally don't think that you lay any sort of blame at his sticker pads last night, but I just wanted to get your thoughts. You used to do the trade. What have you made of the goaltending in this back-to-back with Skinner getting the win Sunday and Pickard ultimately losing, but, in a different way, in a different form last night?
Yeah, the Oilers fans with their goalies goes on a game by game basis, right? And it usually coincides with a win or loss, which isn't always the right way to judge a goaltender's performance. Because very difficult for Pickard to win that game without scoring a goal. First of all, I was kind of interested on the reasons why that Coach Nabla went with Pickard in this type of scenario. I thought that it would be reversed kind of with Stuart Skinner's play. But I get it. Pickard played really well. I thought he gave his team a chance. This would have been with a better execution in the offensive zone. This is entirely different game. And all of a sudden you get a New Jersey Devils team that looked quite lethargic in that first probably period and a half until they, Jake Allen gave them some confidence to start rolling. But I think if the Oilers get to, up a goal after the first, I think they get another one. And once the Devils are chasing, as we saw in the latter part of the third period, the Devils started getting a lot more chances and looked a lot more dangerous. It was because the Oilers were pushing to get a goal. That's it, right? If the Oilers can just kind of play their game, I think they would they kind of eat that New Jersey Devils team alive with getting counter chances because they start pushing. They're not having to sit back and rely on the goaltending that they got.
Give us your perspective as a former NHLer. What's it like in a dressing room with a Connor McDavid who goes out, has a pregame spin and goes, yeah, I feel fine. Like, do the teammates kind of start looking at each other going, this guy's a sicko? Like, how do you deal with a teammate whose body seems to work different than everyone else's?
Well, my body worked a lot different than everyone else's.
He's talking about you.
But that was off the ice. No, I mean he's to me, if I'm a teammate though, I would be a little weary of especially an ankle.
Yeah.
I would guess that there's some older guys in that room kind of saying to before games or kind of little meetings, they go, look guys, we got to let our big dog heal here. Let's make sure that we don't let him feel like he has to come back too soon. That's what kind of my messaging as an older player probably would have been, like taking responsibility, kind of like what Leon's been able to do. I thought Leon was still pretty good last night. As a younger player, I was like, oh my God, get back in the lineup. We need you. So,
yeah.
But the Oilers should be a good enough team to allow Connor McDavid to get back to 100% before and stay the ship and get a few wins without him in the lineup. Because if this team relies on just Connor McDavid to win, then I don't like their chances further down the road.
So you're saying basically the exact opposite of how we've been dealing with Dustin Nielsen's absence.
Yeah, no, I actually talked to the big man last night. He's
you gotta get back in here, man.
He said something about steroid spray and nasal. I didn't know if I don't know if it is a nasal spray. He says he might come back jacked and angry. So I think he's
all over the place.
He's a lot. Yeah, he's back. Yeah, he's gonna come in a tank top. No, we missed the big guy. Yeah, he looked a little rough watching the game on the couch. He sent me a pic. I was like, geez, that's tough.
Take me off
that.
But
then
list.
I did see I don't know if you saw YouTube Trev in his new place. Looked good. Double fisting it with 2 glasses of white wine, which was very comedic, but it was a little bit weird. But yeah, we're gonna miss Trev, I guess. It's good to have Matt in the chair, though. I like hearing Matt in the mornings. I know Matt probably doesn't like to hear Matt in the mornings, but yeah, get well soon, Dusty.
Yeah, no kidding.
But you're doing great, Fraser. Don't.
Oh yeah, the invoice is going to be huge when you hand this thing.
Don't end this hit on a lie. Don't end this hit on a lie. But I appreciate it.
Walking Gage, EST Afternoons later on today with Hernan Salas. We appreciate your time, man.
All right, boys. Take it easy.
Walking Gage brought to you, as always, by Pro-Am Sports, your locally owned and operated sports fan cave. Let's get into That Hurts really quickly. We'll then have the wrap really quickly for William Huff. That hurts right now. It just doesn't hit the same, man. You're too close to the sun here. That hurts. It's for the fine folks at James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law. Look, I think we just pulled something out of that conversation with with Walking Gage there. It is special teams right now, correct? That hurts for this team. We goaltending wasn't the issue.
It's a vibe.
You're missing McDavid. That's fine. Leon Draisaitl has been picking things up, but it's a vibe. It's a vibe around the team right now that they just can't seem to shake.
Wow.
And I think you brought up an astute point in saying that, especially when it comes to the penalty kill. And it's funny because it goes back to the Todd Bowles question, being aggressive and knowing when to be aggressive and choosing time to be aggressive.
Yeah, you find yourself in that zone where it's like, I have a choice to make. I either peel back and cover my lane, or I engage physically. And when they were at their best, they, much like their head coach, consistently made the right choice in that 50-50 situation. Yeah. And right now, they're not making a choice. They are just peeling back. Like it's not like they're getting beaten in a man-on-man situation that's leading to a goal. It's not leading to an odd man rush. They are just getting beaten because they're in a back pedal and lanes are opening up on the fly. So, I mean, it's hard to be critical of a 1-for-1 power play situation.
But in those games, we're just talking about last night.
But
so
if
that's
a game where the opposition had, 16 shots on goal?
Yeah.
That was the exact moment where you needed to have a kill and keep it a 1-0 hockey game.
And allowing Calgary to go 1-for-2 as well. I mean, this is just it pops up and it keeps popping up and keeps happening. So it's a
little different when you respond with a power play goal of yourself.
No, absolutely.
You at least want to saw it off.
Sure.
But when your power play isn't working and your penalty kill is costing you goals, that's the wrong combo.
But when it's showing up in that metric night in, night out, and sometimes it does matter, but most of the time, like again, on a quiet night such as that, low event perhaps, it's going to stick out. And it's a bit of a constant right now. So that hurts. We're going to go with that hurts for the Oilers penalty kill. I think that is look, some of you have said in the nasty chat you didn't like Picard's game last night. I asked why, you provided answers. I'm fine with that. Everybody got opinions. But
he didn't make a big save.
Fair. No, and I think you could find things. But I think we could all come together in kumbaya for the penalty kill, and that being a thing that hurts. And we'll all agree on. And probably, I don't think there's anybody out there that's going to be boosting up the penalty kill right now and say, oh, you know what, I don't think it's that bad. That hurts for James H. Brown. If you've been injured in an accident, go to jameshbrown.com. That hurts. Let's get into the wrap now for William Huff as well. If you want your place to look as good as ours, check them out today. The best part of their place is it is wrapped on the outside. You don't even know where the door is. You kind of... I find it rather fun. Whenever we have to pick something up, I usually kind of volunteer and get down there, and staff is great.
You just start feeling along the wall.
Yeah, it's neat. You got to lose yourself in that moment, right? They're incredible at what they do. In business since 52.
There's the door handle.
WilliamHuff.com. What did you learn on the show today, Will? If anything. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be an educational show. Just one of the questions we ask. Maddie, too, did you learn much? I mean,
obviously Nathan let us down
again.
Well, I was checking if I've heard anything.
Yeah.
I mean,
he said he'll personally let me know.
Personally,
but that was
he'll
an hour
personally
ago.
let you down is what he'll.
Has he not been personally
do.
communicate? Like, what'd you do? Give me your private line? Like, I don't know how more personal it can get.
Well, I'll make
It's
sure to
long-form
personally keep you
correspondence.
updated. I don't know. He's basically been the only one that we've been dealing with for.
Yeah. He's the guy. He's the point man.
Since October 23rd, basically, he's been the guy.
Actually, I just learned
he's a little
from
bit higher
Walking
than that.
Gage that YouTube Trev is a white wine drinker.
I never knew he had it in him.
That's a slippery slope right there.
It was clearly with his girl.
You start with the white wine,
assume.
and before you know it, it's martinis at lunch. It is just cosmopolitans after work.
Smoking.
I'm not the biggest white wine guy.
I don't mind it.
It needs to be a drier one. I don't like the sweets.
Chilled.
Well, you're not a wine
chicken
guy?
breast.
No, I just I can't say I care enough to break it down.
We also learned that somebody applied for a job. A jab. Get a jab. A full letter here. I mean, I'll have to read all this. It's pages and pages. And a resume, which is pretty nice. Do you want to call the references? Or
it's not a oneer.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a oneer. Cover page is supposed to be a oneer.
Oh, yeah, this is way too...
And resume is supposed to be a oneer as well.
Yeah. Will check that out. He'll gloss over it here and phone your points of reference, and I'll try to read this whole... if I have the time. Text of the day today, it's for A&W. $20 to A&W is on the line. We're giving it to the Doughnut. We were looking for McDavid healing aids, topical creams. You said yogurt, Greek yogurt, probiotics.
Yeah.
I don't know why the John Tavares ambulance aren't taking off. Mm-hmm. This would be a good job for him to help his buddy there. And
maybe it's because he drinks the pink. Did anyone throw that in there?
We didn't get a drinking the pink, but that may have pipped you to the Douglas text here as well. He says, pretty sure it's all the oregano oil that McDavid's having.
Yeah.
Do you remember when I used to do that?
Yeah, you used to. Yeah.
I would.
You were prone
3
to
lemons
magical
every
thinking.
morning.
Yeah, you were prone to magical thinking. Still are, really.
Give it a shot.
It's the Saskatchewan in you.
Give it a shot. See what happens.
Yeah. I'm going with drinking the pink.
A drop of oregano oil.
Mm-hmm.
My immune system was. I was sick for years.
You were on the coconut oil.
I was pulling.
Too.
I was pulling.
Yeah.
Yep, I was pulling. That was a little different. You had to keep that in your mouth for like a half an hour. Drive to work, swishing around, and
it was unpleasant. Yeah.
The oregano oil was unpleasant though. That stuff is rough. You take that on an empty stomach. Whew.
Yeah.
But yeah, 3 lemons every morning.
Yeah,
this is a sour way to start the day.
Yeah. It was not appreciated while I was slurping the whey off of my yogurt.
That was disgusting. I look. We both are trying to gross each other out simultaneously. The Doughnut, you're off to A&W for the oregano oil. That really hit me in the heart there, taking me back.
Mm-hmm.
Should get maybe back on that train, but we'll see. Connor McDavid, yes, as we mentioned, he is skating optional skates. The Oilers and Golden Knights tomorrow. What do you think? Do we see him? I mean, load management.
Yeah. If you want.
Rich Peverly died on the bench.
If you want to see Connor McDavid in the lineup, just start talking about how there's no way he could.
Exactly. Yeah, it's the daring to. Yeah.
He's
do
Bloody Mary in the bathroom mirror, man.
He can't do it.
Don't say his name 3 times. He will appear.
I remember when you made Dusty take the oregano oil. Was that a thing, Mike from Calgary? Did I do that? Were you there?
Probably.
No, I wasn't there.
Well, maybe this is now we have to deliver him some and he'll be
We
fine.
still owe him coffee. He needs to drink coffee.
A true
We did
black.
latte. We've never done
He got
coffee.
hooked on lattes.
For like
and he's
2
like, wow,
weeks.
hot milk. Who would have known?
Who would have known? I would have liked
and it
it.
wakes me up.
He was buying it for 2 weeks after Eric got him one.
And he
with
thought
double
he was
shot.
Mr.,
Yeah.
Spengler cup latte.
No, I think I
scars.
remember him telling me I've really grown up. I drink coffee now.
He still hasn't tried coffee.
Well, he considers that coffee.
Yeah. Like he's never had a
He
just a
also
good
considers
black
a coffee crisp a coffee. So
Yeah, he had his first score bar the other day too.
fantastic.
There was someone in town that I remember once on air said that didn't like coffee crisp because he doesn't like the taste of coffee, but he's never had coffee.
Right. Yeah.
So how do you know?
He gets
the taste
caught in his lies
how,
here.
How do you know what the taste is?
Yeah.
If you've never had it,
right?
But would gladly.
He's all over the shop,
right?
Matt, the EST Hangout's coming up next. What do we got on the docket there for
Tommy,
guests?
Jasmine, myself,
the triumvirate.
Your next keyword as well for the
rings
next
of
keyword
power.
for the EST afternoons. We've got Lock Shop later today.
Yep.
We've got two guys and a goalie. Nanso in for Dusty.
Okay.
EST afternoons. Reed and Jay.
Full
3
carrying you
hours
home.
today.
Yeah, love it.
You've got Zach to come with you guys tomorrow morning.
I beg your pardon?
Zach's producing tomorrow morning. I'm not here.
We're just finding this now?
I've told you this.
Where are you?
I'm coming in later.
You're too good for us. Is that what you're saying?
I will be staying up late tonight.
Have you worked with Zach before?
Yes.
In this show realm?
Yeah. It's
fraught. Yeah. Well, thank you for being here today,
There's
Matt.
no way I could come tomorrow morning.
No,
I just said that.
fair enough.
You got a busy night tonight? Is that
Yes,
why?
I do.
Yeah, you're out,
what's
you're out
going on
late?
tonight? I mean, there's a full NHL slate.
We said we're not talking. I just want to watch hockey all night.
Full NHL slate.
I'm hoping there might be that late game from Hawaii at midnight that starts, the late puck drop.
Look, I want to thank all of our guests this morning. TSN's Craig Button, Walking Gage as well, EST's very own, and all of our sponsors, Southford Chevrolet, Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Studio, where they have the new deal on today. You can get the tailgate box or the big pack as well. We went over what select choices of the chicken, of the bird that we like, and you and I would have a great. We should almost go over this whole job resume interview over a plate of Popeyes. We would eat what we want.
Well, first of all, there wouldn't be a piece left.
It would not be because we all we like them all.
Yeah.
So thank you to Popeyes. Thank you to Southport Chevrolet. That Italian Center Shop makes a return tomorrow. That's it. We're out of time. It's 9:01. For Matthew, Matt, we really appreciate your feverish work behind the scenes and getting. I don't think it's ever going to be resolved with Nathan. This is just the song that never ends. I know you're looking at me like that. Maybe Zach can talk to Nathan tomorrow. Wouldn't that be something, eh?
Good point. Yeah. Maybe they just need a new voice.
A new voice, the reason. Wil Fraser in for Dustin Nielsen. YouTube Chef's got the week off. I'm Lieutenant Eric. Enjoy the rest of the day. Keep it locked here at Edmonton Sports Talk. The YouTube stream will pop you right over. You click the autoplay on, and you'll be right in the hangout with Matthew O'Monic, Tom Gazzola, and Jasmine. Breaking out last night's Oilers loss to the Devils. We are back tomorrow setting up Oilers and Golden Knights. Have a great afternoon. We love you all.